So I ended up down a rabbit hole again. Like
Oh?
similar to like the one when we were previously like exploring the world of yaoi paddles.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I was kind of I was just trying to fact check something and then I just kind of spiraled deeper and deeper into recesses of the web and I ended up learning something that I didn't know previously, and it kind of taints a little bit of my earlier anime days. Um, were you ever familiar with the term "gar" used in anime terminology? GAR.
No, I actually don't know that phrase.
So I only remember it from conventions, and I remember like it was kind of used to be referred to like as a the sexy manly badass characters and stuff like that. And I remember hearing it at conventions. And that was about it. So like yeah, that male character's Gar or something like that. And I was like, okay, sure, whatever. And I knew it was because like something like to do with like somebody mistyping. Apparently, that entire phrase started because somebody on 4chan decided to start a thread saying, "I'm gay for Archer from Fate Stay Night," and they mistyped "gay" and wrote "gar," and that's how that terminology started. And the whole reason I'm fucking here is because I was like, what word did we use for hot male characters before Husbando?
It was Gar.
It was not Gar. Apparently, it was Bishi was like the most
Oh,
common one.
yes. Yeah.
But that was still like something used for more feminine guys. And then Gar was the one that was used for the more manly guys, but it was kind of more of an internet meme than anything else. But yeah, so like, cause Bishi you never hear anymore either, and I was like,
You just like hit me with like the nostalgia hammer. I'm like, Bishi? Holy shit, we haven't used that word in a long time.
we haven't, and I was like, because now we use like what is it, Ikeman, like that's the new one that's used around like the VTuber
Oh,
circle at least.
yeah, I like Ikemen though. But like
Yes,
Ikemen and Bishi feel like they still have two different vibes because Ikemen is like,
still more manly.
so yeah, more manly, and Bishi wasn't necessarily not manly. It was just like more
Yeah,
like
the more
heart
feminine kind of like
fluttery
yeah
kind of,
the
but
cute
like in like
ones.
the kind of way, and the other one's like, oh my god, kind of way.
Yeah, so like, but you always had like you had your Bishi or your favorite Bishi, and of course for those
Yeah.
that don't know, Bishi coming from the term Bishonen, but yeah, it was weird because I knew husbando and waifu didn't start until the whole weeaboo phase started because that's a weeaboo term. That's not a original otaku term that was used. So I was like, what? We had to have had a word for it. Like there had to be a terminology, and I just ended up in the circle of just learning about like how people actually miss saying the words bishi and otaku and gar and, and just talking about glomping at cons and
I-
uh it
I'm
was
sorry. Every time you say the word Gar, it just sounds like some alien language. And I'm like,
it's
Gar. I'm like, who the fuck says Gar?
I've heard it so much at cons, and it was just one of those things like it's a con thing. I'd never heard it before I went to a convention, and I just heard it. I never heard it outside of it, so it's just like yeah, that's just a thing. But yeah, so if anybody hasn't figured it out, we are talking about husbandos and all the hot men of anime that we can we say we simp for, I suppose, to a degree.
Sim for or can appreciate.
Yeah. The I know we both have very different qualifications for what we would consider a husbando.
Yeah.
Because I
There's
just feel
there's
like husbando and waifu get thrown around a little haphazardly. Like any, you have qualifications for that. You have the
yeah,
ones that.
you have qualifications for them. Some of them you can just really love the character, and other ones you're like, now he's husband material. But
Mm-hmm.
there's husbandos that are not husband material.
You're right. Also, I'm still looking at this thread. I ended up down in them. I just saw the word Japanimation.
Oh.
That hurt me. Uh,
I think there's still brands out there who use that in their
yeah,
branding.
probably. And peak fiction. God, I haven't heard anybody refer to something as peak fiction in a while.
Oh, I have.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, I see it all the time, especially in manga circles. I see it a lot.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. And I guess you wouldn't really see a lot of the, of course, the citrus scale outside of fan fiction stuff. I don't, do they still use
I love the
citrus
citrus
scale?
scale. Mm.
Is that still used?
I think people refer use it now like for nostalgia purposes versus actually using it.
Fair. It was such an it worked so well though. It really did. Trip down memory lane, and of course, doing this whole backlog, I found out more about yaoi paddles again because that always comes up anytime you talk about early 2000s anime.
It was so funny when they got rid of yaoi panels. I completely didn't even realize that they were no longer a thing. They just were gone, and I didn't think twice about it.
Right. I remember them being banned from my like local con. I remember that being
Yeah.
a huge thing because that was also around the time they were kind of banning people from carrying around the free hug signs, like when people were still hand making the signs for free hugs. And then
Yeah.
they're like, "Okay, well, no, we're going to let people actually sell badges that say free hugs, and that's apparently better, I guess. Because we paid money for it at the con, it's better. But then again, why not yaoi paddles be allowed? Granted, we all knew that was gonna be anyone with a
Matter
brain
time.
would tell you that, yeah, let's not give uneducated children wooden paddles. Let's not do that.
Yeah. I don't know. Like it was like con culture from that time. I took like a 3-year break from cons because of availability,
Mm-hmm.
and it was completely different cultures. It was like yaoi panel, free hugs, woohoo, all this like big OG weeb stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go to cons later, and it's like, nah, all that weeb shit, that's gone. We got new weeb shit now.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I took like a year off of cons and I came back, and it was very jarring because things didn't change very quickly. And this was, for me, was the birth of memes, or at least the idea of the word memes. So I went to a
Yeah.
con and it was all about Harambe and Pepe Laugh and like that boy, and I'm like, I understand none of this. I am officially too old for cons. It happens, and then I kind of like accepted it. And I was like, okay, yeah,
Yeah, but we're not actually too old for cons.
no, it just really felt like it, and that might have been because of the group I was hanging out with at the time. They were all a bit younger than I was, and yeah, the Harambe jokes never ended. It has
Nope,
been
the Harambe
years.
jokes have never ended. Nope.
Yep.
I'll make a Harambe joke here and there too.
Oh my god. The last
That's
Harambe joke I ever made, um, half of my friend group kicked me out of the group chat for us. I will never do it again.
my problem is I can't remember Harambe's name in the moment. I'm like, I want to make a joke about Harambe. I can't remember his name.
That's fair. Mine was so they had I worked at a grocery store, or I worked at Walmart way back in the day. And they had Halloween costumes out, and they had a giant gorilla costume that was just like a onesie or whatever. And I took a picture of it and I posted it onto my Facebook and just put the caption "Small child not included."
I almost spit out my drink.
Yeah, my friend group did not like that very much. I'm like, come on, I do a Harambe joke and apparently I'm the bad guy.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I was trying to be hip with the memes and I failed.
Oh, I think you were a hit with the memes with me though.
We had the same humor on that one at least.
At least on that one.
Yeah. But Harambe not being a husbando, so not gonna be the topic of this conversation.
No, I mean if you think Harambe is husbando, you got a very
Are we gonna
taste.
are we gonna shame the furry community?
Nope, I
10
just
minutes.
said they have a very taste is what they have.
Oh my god.
No descriptor, just you have a taste.
A taste. Oh my god. Oh my god. I just thought about like crack pears as well. Why is my brain is in like early 2000s mode now.
Oh
Oh my
wow.
gosh.
Oh gosh.
I miss crack pears. That was
I
fun.
I still do crack pairs. What are you talking about?
I do too, but it's like not a big subject of conversation anymore within the anime
No, because
community.
a lot of crack pairs, they're like, no, it's problematic. And you're like, that's the point. It's a crack pair. You're not supposed to take it seriously.
Right. Oh my god.
Like, I made a generator just for like crack ships for the fruits basket. And I
Mhm.
got some wild shit, man. We were shipping like Shisho with Momiji. It was
Oh my
great.
god. I remember so there was a magazine I used to get back when I still used to get weekly magazine or monthly magazines for anime. I think it was Anime Insider. That was the one that
Ooh.
did it. And they would have an article in every issue for like it was basically a crack pair, but it they didn't call it that. I forget what they referred to it as, but they would take like a male and a female from two completely different series and then kind of like explain what they have in common and why they would work. It was really cute. It was my first introduction to something like that. Yeah, so it was mainstream enough to actually make it into like regular magazines. I
I
miss
miss those days.
Yeah, I still have those magazines. I'm not going to sleep. I'm just gonna pull out the freaking box full of magazines now. Oh god, and when I still used to get Shoujo Beat as well and Shonen Jump.
Oh, I have all of them.
Yeah,
Cyan, I have every issue of both of those.
I have all the earlier issues. I don't have anything. I stopped at both at a certain point. I stopped Shoujo Beat a lot sooner because I just started buying Nana instead of just getting Shoujo Beat just for the Nana volumes.
Yeah, well, they stopped serializing Nana like not even halfway through.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I only have a few of those, but I have a lot of Shonen Jump. And then I have the new type magazines as well.
ooh, I
Those
don't
were
have
nice
those.
because those came with the free DVD with a demo disc of
Yes.
3 episodes, 1 episode of a different anime to kind of like demo you before you could just go online and watch it.
Oh yeah. Oh, also Yen Press had their own manga
Oh
magazine
yeah,
as well.
I remember seeing
Oh,
those
Yen
as well.
Press Plus. I have a few of those as well.
I have another one called like I think it was like Otaku something. It was the same size as the new type magazines, but it wasn't new type. And then there was another anime one that I got before I got Anime Insider.
There was a lot of magazines like that that just went completely defunct pretty much around like the recession.
It did. I kind of
The '08
wonder.
recession for clarification.
Yeah, yeah. I, I wonder what happened to a lot of the writers there, like what they're doing now. Like
Um,
that'd be a curious thing to look into.
I know a lot of them write for online anime series. I know some of
Mm-hmm.
them um kind of do their own freeform on their own blogs now.
Yeah, I'd be interested. We might put a pin in that for another episode and see like where are they now or something. That'd be fun.
Oh, I would love to talk about that more.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait, we'll save that for a later date, but
because we haven't talked about husbandos at all yet.
it's fine. But yeah, so husbandos, like, or our best boys, our favorite male leads, favorite male characters, favorite male antagonists, the ones that get our heart going, the ones that we wait for every scene that they're on screen. We look up the fan art, we look up the fan fiction, might even write some of it ourselves. It's been a while. So why don't we start out, from the beginning? Do you remember who your first or who would have been considered your first husbando was?
Are we talking with an anime? Or are we talking outside of anime?
Anything animated, because I'll consider cartoons American cartoons as well.
Fuck, I was hoping you wouldn't say that.
Let's go. Okay,
Um,
well, you can do cartoon and you can do an anime.
okay. First cartoon would probably be Danny Phantom.
Valid, actually.
Very valid. And then second, like my first anime one would be the very first anime I checked out, Kodocha's Akito Hayama.
God damn it.
I was granted at that time I was younger than him, so he was like, ha.
That's fair. I feel like
And now I'm like, now you're a child.
when I definitely watched that, because when I watched that, I would have probably still been in my teens. but I was still more for the manager. It was something about the
Oh.
shades.
I mean, the face that we hardly saw.
Yeah. I mean, this guy could add some Gojo going eyes underneath there for all we know.
I mean, he did have some decent eyes, but I remember a scene where they put on sunglasses and he had like the really like big girly Sojo eyes
Oh
on
my
on the
gosh.
sunglasses. And he like turned around and the paparazzi like took pictures of them.
Oh my
Just
god.
such a funny image in my head. It lives in my brain rent free.
Fair. Alright, for mine, I'll give a cartoon one as well, even though I think my cartoon one might have been after my anime one. American Dragon Jake Long. Yeah.
Yes! Him! Gosh, you always say the things that make me react the most when I'm taking a sip of water.
Sorry. I just know. I know when you're taking the sip. I instinctually know.
You just see me like through the miles and miles and miles apart.
Yeah.
You have taste, girl.
Yeah. Well,
Hot damn,
at
I
least
also
younger, we
had a crush
definitely
on
did.
him.
It was
Yeah.
I mean, at least if we're talking especially like the earlier art style, well, before they did the art style
Yes.
change because of
Yes,
the
for
weird.
early art style, yes.
But like I was still, even though he was like my man, I was still rooting for him and Rose the entire fucking time. I felt so
100%.
bad.
Forbidden Love, let's go.
Yeah. But for anime wise, which I don't even know if you'll know this because I know we've talked about this series, but I don't think you ever watched it. Cardcaptor Sakura.
Yes.
Her older brother Toya.
Oh no, I've seen him around. Seen him around.
He was Tori in the English dub as I was watching at the time. I became quite obsessed with that name after watching the English dub. Granted, years later, revisiting the series with the subtitles and getting the actual names and actually seeing the rest of the series, and there is Yue, who is the moon guardian spirit in that show that shows up much later on, quickly took Toya's place. I think that's actually what started my like angry boy phase there, because he is very angry when he shows up.
It's okay. I had one angry boy after another because if it wasn't Akito, it was Kyo.
Fair.
Soma from Fruits Basket.
So
the angry boy.
The angry boy. Which mine from Fruits Basket is Hatsuharu. I love Kyo, but Hatsuharu is my baby.
No, so Kyo was my OG one. He wouldn't be my one now. But...
Yeah, no, I'm still like not my number one, but Hatsuharu is definitely up there on the list for me.
Oh yeah, he beautiful boy.
I will say, since you brought up Kadocha, there was a series that I watched right alongside Kadocha, which was very confusing because they used the same voice actors and it's a very similar art style. Marmalade Boy.
Yes, I knew it immediately. I was like, it's gotta be this one.
Yeah, talk about problematic brother-sister relationships. But I'm not actually going to name the main dude in that, because as much as I liked him, the one God, I'm gonna forget his name now. He was the
I know
the black-haired boy that main girl thought was gay.
Oh yeah, it's like Rio something.
Yeah, something like that.
No,
she thought he had a crush on her boyfriend or her brother for the longest time, and I was just like, yeah, no, honey, you're kind of dumb. That's not what that means at all. Yeah, I watched that alongside Kadocha, and they have like the same English voice cast, so it was very confusing.
So the only that's exactly why I watched Marmalade Boy as well. Do you know, like back in the day, the Kadocha Wikipedia at the very bottom under trivia, it used to say that a lot of people get into watch Marmalade Boy, or I think Marmalade Boy or Kadocha related because they call Kadocha Marmalade Boy on crack. It used to say that on the Wikipedia.
Hold on. How are you going to say that it's
not there anymore? But
well, no, but how are you going to say it's that on crack? Because Marmalade Boy was also very fucks. Like, it wasn't the high energy, but it was very much on crack.
Oh, yeah.
It is
Uh,
very like for those that don't know, these are two step siblings because their parents married each other and their parents married each other. Her mom married his dad and his dad married her mom, and then they all decided to live in a house together.
yes. It sounds like a train wreck, but it's honestly really a fun series.
Yeah.
Despite the premise, it's watched it so early on and read it so early on. I love it still. I'm like,
It
this
really
is
is good.
has so many issues, but I still love it to this
It has
day.
so many issues.
And the collector's edition is now coming out currently, so you
Oh,
can
really?
buy that on shelves now. Marmalade Boy has not been available in print for a long time, and now you can get it again.
Okay. Yeah,
So, heads up.
God, I watched that a long time ago. It is also the first time I was ever introduced to bad dancing in anime. Because it's a very small scene, but it's when Yu goes to like America or something, and this one girl that like had a crush on him decides to like have a depressive episode and just go dance like crazy on the deck of their like apartment or building or something. And it is the worst dancing I've ever seen in any anime, and it's burned into my memory for some reason.
I totally skimmed over those episodes because I was like, this isn't in the manga. That was my first introduction to filler arcs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Oh my god.
God. Oh, his name was Satoshi, by the way.
Satoshi. Okay.
It was
Yeah, yeah.
not Rio. I don't know where I got Rio, but it was Satoshi Miwa was his name.
Black-haired character must be a Ria.
Yeah, at first I thought you were gonna say Ginta, and I'm like, that's not a pick I would peg you for. I was like, that's not your type.
Definitely
like,
not.
I
I like him as a character. He was a great character in that series. Very annoying, but he's a great character in the series. But like he's bottom of the pecking order in that. I'd pick one of the dads before I would pick him.
To be fair, the dads are kind of fine.
You're not wrong. But like what is that, like 90s anime style? It's like
Yep,
they
very
do gotta draw their
90s.
dads. Oh well, of course we have to address the elephant in the room because I know this is gonna come up anyway. So we might as well bring it up now. Bleach, because Bleach has its selection for sure.
My number one husbando of all time is from Bleach, and this is why you know it was going to be brought up. And that is Mr. Aizen Sosuke, my lord and savior. Love that man.
Which was funny because it's like I remember that was one of our earlier conversations because one of my favorites has always been Genichimaru, which is his kind of right hand for a long while. Not gonna get into spoilers on anything of that nature, but like he was there helping out Aizen quite a bit. Love that. But not my number one husbando for the first time I watched it.
Oh.
I feel like because initially, which it's actually probably about to take the place of my number one again now that 1,000-Year Blood Arc is happening. Hitsugaya.
Yeah. He's okay.
Yeah, he was my favorite when I first started watching it. And then as I got older, I was like, no, Gein's probably more my type, you know?
Gein's fine.
And then 1,000-Year Blood Arc happened, and I was like, you know...
Oh. Yeah, I know.
They gave him a scarf, and he kind of looks like he's slightly wet, and I kind of like it.
Oh, and you'll see.
Yeah. Oh, I know. I've seen the spoilers. I've
seen the spoilers. Yeah. There's more coming for him.
Yep. But I mean, granted, Bleach has a lot of husbandos.
Oh, God. I love Ishin Kurosaki. Hot damn.
Fucking course you go for the dad.
I'm sorry. He's just also great. He's not as great as Aizen, but oh my god, he's great.
Is it bad that for a while I was into Uryu?
No, not bad at all. He is fine. He is absolutely fine.
His dad though.
Oh yeah.
Oh god. And honestly, most of the Soul Reapers and then Grimjow. Oh my god.
Oh yeah. And Ukiura.
I was never into Ukiura. A little too emo for me.
See, I didn't like him for me personally. I liked him in ships, but I didn't like him.
Fair.
Like, he says like he's not like my object of desire because that's always been Aizen.
Of course.
But I can appreciate him in certain moments and aspects.
I was
Oh,
also very much a Renji stan. I know a lot of my female friends were into Byakuya, but I was like, nah, Renji's more my speed. He's more
I
angry.
yeah, I do prefer Byakuya over Renji. Um, but also we can't not also talk about Ichigo in certain scenes. He's also pretty
That's-
great too.
Honestly,
He's not like the greatest all the time, but like there's certain times I'm like, hot damn.
I'm thinking back on it because when I was watching it originally, I wasn't so much into it, but I'm thinking back to it, and
Yeah.
this boy gets flustered so easily, which is so much my type now.
Yeah, he's really cute.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's yeah, yeah,
Oh wait,
yeah.
there was the two lieutenants, the one with the crooked sword and the one with the 69.
Yes, Hisagi and Kira.
It was
Or
those
Shuhei and
two.
Izuru, either
Yeah,
way.
yeah. And then there was
Yeah.
also the two captains that had the twin blades.
Oh, Kyoraku and Ukitake.
One knows all the names. I'm just like, I'm just gonna
I
describe
love
them.
Bleach. I'm like, I love Bleach, man. I know those names. Like,
Um,
I don't know any of like the new villains' names though,
yeah.
but I know all of like the OG cast.
Ukitake for like a long while was like, oh, okay, he's sickly. I could take care of him.
He looks fine, but I would like him more in his prime.
I liked him better with the short hair. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like when they did the flashback and they showed him with the short hair, I was like, okay, for
Yep.
once, I want my man with the short hair.
I would read an entire spin-off just following Ukitake and Kyoraku, like early Soul Society,
Yeah.
like early Soul Reaper days, I should say.
Okay. Okay.
I would
Hear
read a
me
whole
out.
spin-off on that.
Hear me out. The God, I forgot his name. I was about to say it and I forgot his name. The captain, the creepy captain doctor guy without the makeup.
Mayuri.
Yeah.
I can see what you mean by without the makeup.
Yeah.
He's not bad.
There's a scene in the OG where he's getting out of the bathtub, and I was like, "Oh, I have a problem."
I think that's like the only time you see him without makeup too. Like that's the only time, and it's not even like a thing we talk about. It's just like it happened. That's it. No more.
I lived for it. I looked up so much fan art for it. I'm just like, then he talks like that, and I'm like, oh god, never mind. I can't.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how he talks in the Japanese. I've only ever watched the dub, so
it also makes your skin crawl.
Okay.
So that's how he's supposed to be voiced.
Fair. Yeah.
That is the intent.
Okay. Understandable. Have day. Still, that scene lives rent free within my brain every time I think of him, and I hate it, but I also love it.
Bleach has a lot of ones.
They
Is there
really
any
do.
other of the big shonens that have some husbandos for you?
We'll not get into One Piece yet. Let's go to Naruto because Naruto, I have some controversial ones.
Yeah, controversial ones.
Because I feel like I'm the only one that felt that Gaara was icky.
I wasn't a big fan of Gaara either. It's not because I didn't like them. It was just like, oh, Gaara.
He had no eyebrows and he had like raccoon eyes. I did not understand why people were like, yeah, this guy's covered in sand and shaved his eyebrows and he's fucking crazy. I want to bang that. No. Please no.
I never understood the Gaara love. I get like liking him and sympathizing as a character and everything, but I'm like, I mean, he's just a misunderstood nerd. Let's be real.
I was always far more into Neji when I was younger. I'm not older, not so much, but yeah, when I was younger, I was definitely hard like Neji. I had like artwork of it. I looked up so much fan art. I had folders of Neji and Kiba. I think those were.
Oh yeah, no, I liked Kiba a lot. I remember. Yeah, no, I was a big fan of Kiba.
Yeah,
I was like,
once I learned that wasn't his actual hair, I was like, okay, I'm fine with this.
Yeah. Now you look at Kiba and you're like, what happened to you?
I actually don't.
What did
mind.
they do to you? You don't mind?
Yeah, the way he looks in Boruto, people clown on it, but I'm like,
I'm not clouding on it.
Yeah,
It's
well, I mean,
just
like,
not
I
for
know you're not,
me.
but like a lot of people are like, yeah, they really downgraded him. I'm like, nah, he just looks like a dad now.
I mean, yeah, I mean, they all look like dads
Yeah,
now. Let's be
even
real.
though he's probably like the only one that isn't a dad.
He's the one who's a free spirit,
Well,
but he also looks the most like a dad.
yeah, like he just got the dad look. That's fine. I was like, it works. I'm fine with it. I never got into like the big Kakashi hype either. I know a lot of people
Uh,
did.
a lot of people like it. I like Kakashi as a character. I don't think he's not my big
Yeah.
husbando in Naruto. I liked his teacher more, Minato.
Oh yeah.
that one's always been mine.
Oh
That's been my
yeah.
big Naruto one.
I can see that.
So, but then again, it's following a trend in case you're noticing.
Yeah. Yeah. Valid. Another one that, God, my brain broke. Deidara.
See, I didn't get into that one.
I was so into the Deidara Sasori ship for the longest time, but Deidara was always my favorite, and I was like, there was so much fan art. It was so
There was so much fan art. Oh my god,
and he was so
you could not
angry.
escape it.
He was so angry all the time.
I think that's like half the reason I ended up reading and watching Naruto was just because it was everywhere. You could not escape it. It was just like, who is this random kid? It is probably from Naruto. And then you saw the Naruto aspects, and you're like, yeah, it's Naruto.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Naruto didn't really have a lot. Like they had a lot of really good male characters, but like none that really spoke to me. But like I know a lot of girls that were like losing their shit over Gaara, Sasuke, Itachi.
Also, yeah. Oh, the Itachi fangirls.
Those were horrible.
So many of them.
Like, okay, have your little wrinkle-eyed motherfucker. I don't care.
Oh, Shikamaru also has a lot.
Okay.
I like him. I can see that, but I don't see him like. I like the older, like more adult him. I'm like, okay, I see it.
Adult Shikamaru, yes, but also Shikamaru's dad.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Shikamaru as an adult is like diet Shikamaru's dad. Still.
Yeah, pretty much. It. Yeah, pretty much is.
Oh, it's like there are people that also went for Pain, I guess.
Pain isn't bad. I think.
Like, well, as long as we're not talking about true pain, we're talking about like the dead body pain. But
yeah, we're talking about like the the orange haired one.
Yeah, not the real body, because concern.
Yeah, I like You could also say a lot of the before like the end of the series came in, and there was like character fan art and like people's predictions of what certain characters would look like if they existed and things like that. A lot of the character arts early of like older Obito.
Oh yeah.
Like the fan predictions of that.
Right.
Those were also pretty nice. I liked those. I wouldn't agree with canon versions of stuff, but
no. I remember seeing a lot of that because there was always that like Obito and Rin art floating around. That was really cute. But I don't know, Naruto. Yeah, I think Neji and Deidara are like my main two on that one.
Yeah, mine has been Minato and Kiba.
Valid. Very valid.
You're valid too.
So One Piece, I know you're not very far into it. I have 3 from One Piece, and
I'll give 3 from One Piece. They're all pretty generic characters, but I'll give you 3 from One Piece.
Oh my god. I'm terrified because I know how far you are, and I'm like, okay, what would your 3 from One Piece be?
I said generic. It should be easy.
That you have more than 3 male characters introduced. There are technically 4.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna start off with kind of a big fan favorite, Ace.
Okay, Ace is one of mine.
Yeah.
Have you met Ace yet? I know you know who he is.
Ace.
Okay.
We meet him in Alabasta.
Okay. Oh right. You're at Water 7.
Water 7.
Right. It's like Ace was probably my first. I had a huge love for Zoro for a while.
Yeah, Zoro was one of the ones I was gonna say.
I had some love for Ace back in the day.
Yeah.
My second though on that would be Trafalgar Law, which
Oh,
you
yeah, a lot
haven't
of
run
people
into
love.
yet, but yeah,
No, but
you
I've
know he
seen
is.
fan art of him, and I have like a little like button fan merch of him too.
Yeah.
So
I adore him. He is actually the main reason I was able to continue the series because after certain events that I believe you're spoiled on.
oh yeah, I am.
Yeah, that broke my heart so badly that I almost dropped the entire series, and then like Law was the only reason I continued it. Because I wanted to see more of them.
Yeah. I will have to say I'm not mad about being spoiled about that because that is actually the only reason I'm interested in reading One Piece.
Valid.
So...
Very valid. But yeah,
So call me basic generic ass bitch, but I also really like Sanji. Like a lot.
I thought you were gonna say Shanks.
No, he's nice. He's fine, but I like he's too mysterious to really make an opinion about right now.
Fair. Yeah, I can see Sanji. Definitely not somebody I've ever like. His curly eyebrows are not
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah, no, I don't know what it is. I think it's just like when they're being serious, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
Also, I just kind of gravitate towards like
Playboys.
Characters who are always like trying. I don't know, characters who are trying their best to be in their roles. I guess. They're just like, I'm trying to do this shit and everyone's fucking around with me. I'm trying to be serious. Listen to me.
Oh,
I like those kind of
fair.
characters. Except Sanji just has very small moments of that.
I know who your pick is from Utapri, so I was just like, yeah, I Playboys.
No, Utapri, that's my second pick.
Oh really?
Yeah, no, I have a my main pick falls in line with what I just said.
Oh my god. Fair. My third pick from One Piece is somebody you definitely are nowhere near to being introduced to, so I don't know if you would recognize him. But
Okay.
he's Katakuri.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, he's got like the pinkish hair, and he wears like a big fluffy scarf that covers like half his face, wrapped around his entire head.
Yeah, no, I think I've seen him.
Yeah, his calf is the size of Luffy. This man is a huge man, and he would tear me in half, and I'd be happily to accept it.
I knew that was gonna come after that. He would tear me off. I was just waiting for it. I'm like, all right, I know how this is gonna go.
Yeah. I got banned. Well, I didn't get banned. I got timed out in 2 Discord groups. Because I kept thirsting for him because I was in a One Piece group and it was all a bunch of like female One Piece fans, and we were all just like talking about it. And I got to Katakuri and I started posting in there, and I was posting in the NSFW server about it first, and then they gave me the grounded role, which bans me from being able to see the not safe for work portion. So I just started thirsting for him in Maine. I was like, give me back.
Yeah, that'd be a really quick reason. That'd be a really quick, easy way to get yourself timed out.
I was one of the original founders for that group. They eventually let me back in, but I was like, they made sure I was after that arc was done. I was like, okay, I'm back, and I'm still in there now. But yeah, every now and then, if I see somebody talking about Katakuri, I'll put some eye emotes on the passage talking about it. I just get responded to with like 3 people. Cyan, no, not allowed. Don't you say a word. We're not talking about it.
Like, do not open this can of worms.
But it's fun.
Oh, I know it's fun. But
think...
since you brought up Utapri, sorry, I had to change, like,
go for it.
Go, like, what? Who is your pick from Utapri? Oh, wait, I know your pick for Utapri. Who's your pick? Top 2 picks from Utapri? Because I know your first one, but I don't know your second one.
Who would be my... So yeah, first pick... Again, I don't know the names because it's but it's the cute one with the barrettes in his hair and the hat. And, is it now?
It's not Shio, it's Shio. It's like SYO.
SYO?
Yeah, I think it's SYO.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay.
So yeah, he was definitely my first pick. He's always so
Yeah,
angry.
I knew that. I knew that.
Who would be my second? I'm looking at them real quick. I don't know. Maybe his partner, the one with the glasses that had the dual personalities, was kind of crazy.
Really? You would pick Natsuki?
Maybe. Wait, no. I forgot there's other bands.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot about the other bands.
The one
Yeah.
that has my hairstyle in the second band that shows up the trio.
I.
Yes.
He good one.
Yep.
Oh wait, if we're going, we're also talking about other bands. Oh shit. Well then, God. Okay, my first pick is Tokyo, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, he's always been my number one. My second one is the one that you know about, which is Ren, the long-haired playboy.
Yep.
And then recently, I've had an appreciation for Masato. I didn't have I just did not like him, but now I have an appreciation for him. I think it was the concert that I went to, because I went to go see the Utapri concert tour thing in theaters, and my god, that changes you as a person, let me tell you. And then if I had to pick from the other groups, it'd be Camus, 100%. He's the long-haired one.
Okay, from the same trio?
Yeah, from the trio, yeah. No, it's a quartet. It's 4.
Is it 4? Okay, yeah, it is.
Because they're quartet night. So there's 4.
I only remember
there's
2 of them.
because there's the one that's like the rough one, and then there's like the not flamboyant one, but like the more like traditional popular guy.
Okay, I see him now.
Yeah.
I was like, I only remember 2 of these other than the blue-haired one, and I was like, yeah, that's about all I remember. But yeah, I remember because that was the only reason I ended up watching the second season, because I was like, okay, first season's really fucking good. I don't think I'll watch a second season. And then I saw him, and I was like, never mind, I'm watching the second season. Let's go.
And so second season will forever change you because they have the song Poison Kiss in it, and I'm just dead. Poison Kiss. Yeah, no.
Oh my god.
They need that on Spotify sooner than later.
They
I will
really
never
do.
stop listening to it. It will be on repeat.
I mean, to be fair, the only reason I ever watched Utapri, because I had no interest in idol shows at all, even male idol shows, because I knew of them. I was just like, nah, it's fine. I saw on YouTube like the Starish song, the first song, the 1000% Love.
Doki do 10% love.
Yeah, and I was watching the dance routine, and I was seeing some hip movement, and I was like,
all of the hip movements.
I was like, okay. Granted, when I first watched it and I saw that video, my favorite was actually the spiky blue-haired guy that was angry looking.
Tokyo?
I don't remember.
Yeah, that was Tokyo.
Yeah,
Tokyo went through a phase.
Yeah, he was a little too Sasuke-ish, so I was like, yeah, no. I prefer the like cute, tiny, angry boy. He's short and he's angry. For it.
No, that was good. I started Utapri just because at that point, that's when I was like picking up everything I could touch. And Utapri was like coming out in that season. I was like, this looks fun, and then I got hooked. And then I'm a little behind on the seasons, but it doesn't really. Utapri is one of those things where if you're behind on a season, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
It really doesn't. You can watch the whole thing out of order. Maybe only season 1 you need to watch in order. Everything else, you're fine. You can just watch it whatever. And then you don't have to see the Utapri Shining Tour. That literally you can watch that completely on your own. You do not have to watch that like after season 1. Just watch that anytime.
Right.
It's so good though. Watch it.
So speaking of animes with like brightly colored hair, Kuroko's no basket.
Kuroko is my boy. I love him. I will protect him. I love Kuroko.
I want you to take a guess of who you think my favorite is out of the group. I'll give you the hint that it is one of the
miracles.
6.
Yeah. Guys, is it Akashi?
No.
Okay. Oh wait, is it no, that's not. Is it the blue-haired one?
Yes.
Okay. That's what, like I'm like, okay, I'm like thinking angry. Who's angry?
They're When
And I was
there's
gonna
like,
say the green-haired one, and I was like, "No, no, no, wait, wait, he's too intellectual for your type."
yeah.
Um, no, that's a
Granted,
good one.
the is it Taiga, the redhead? His name Taiga?
Yeah, Taiga, yeah.
He's also very angry.
He is a very angry boy. He works really good with Kuroko.
I also
God.
surprisingly I actually had a thing for Kisei for a bit too.
Ah, nice. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I've had a thing for all of them except the purple-haired one, which is very surprising for me.
I actually did really like the purple haired one. I
He
think
didn't like him. He was just the only one
yeah.
I just didn't mesh with his personality.
We didn't get enough of him for me to like
Mm,
form a full
we really
opinion,
didn't.
so
He was like one of the last ones.
yeah. I like the design a lot, and I like his lazy attitude. I was just like, yeah, we need more. But yeah, angry's always the way to go. And when four of these characters get angry at various times, a little hard.
Yeah. Oh God, Kuroko no Basket though is they have just their whole cast is generally pretty good.
It really is.
Even like within their own teams, it's pretty good. There was who was it? It was the one who always has like the like cat lips that
Oh my
one
god.
from Kuroko and Taiga's team. For some
Oh.
reason, I've always been drawn to him. I've always just thought he was great. I'm
Okay,
just like, I like you. I enjoy you.
I've always loved characters that kind of have that face though.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because that's a common trope, and like when they do a male character like that, I'm like, okay, I'm going to love this man.
I've been like looking. I'm like, if I see a pin or something of him, I'll get it. But usually, when there's Kuroko merch I can find, it's usually the purple one that's left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so you've read this manga recently, so I can bring this one up. Air Gear, which I yeah, I expected that reaction. But Akito,
Which one was that
the straight jacket twin personality boy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He's when it started to get interesting. I will admit he was when it started to get interesting. But at that point I was already like done. I was like, I'm done.
I liked him, but later in the series, because I've actually read the manga for that one, which is I only did it because the anime cuts off way early, and
It does.
I needed to see more of a certain character, and it wasn't Akito. It was Kazu, who is like the blonde haired best friend of Iki on the team.
Okay.
That takes
Yeah.
over the Fire Road.
Okay, I
Granted,
didn't get that far. I only got to like book 5 in my reread,
okay.
and I stopped.
Yeah. So have you've met? I think his name's Spitfire, the current Fire Road.
I mean, I read a lot of it in the past. I
Okay.
don't remember anything beyond what I did in my reread though.
Okay.
But you can go for it. Tell me everything.
No, but
I'm
there's
not revisiting this.
it's one of those ones where they animated it as well as I actually like the way they did it in the manga as well. They did the whole panel where it took up both sides of the like both pages, and it's him going through the movements of the Fire Road or whatever, and it's like I don't know how to explain like his posturing and like the hands in the pocket and the like just the kind of aloof posture he has while going through the movements for the Fire Road for Spitfire. I was just like,
oh, okay. Now that I pulled up a reference character, oh yeah, no, I really liked him too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like he was very overshined in like the early chapters.
You talking about Spitfire? Or are you talking about Kazu?
Kazu.
Okay, yeah, he is. That is his entire character. Is that he is overshadowed.
Yeah.
That is his entire character arc. Is that he is the character that is overshadowed. Which I think they do really well because he becomes very self-aware of that, and he's like, I accept that I'm always going to be in the shadow of Iki. I love that for him. I want to protect him, sweet baby boy. I know you don't care for much for it because I've heard you talk about it. I loved watching Air Gear, and then I watched the OVAs, and I was like, okay, I need to. Actually, the OVAs were the reason I had to read the manga because some shit happens, which you're not there yet, but some shit happens with Akito's past that.
No, I think I might have seen it because, like I said, I got really far in it when I first read it. I just don't remember a lot of it. I remember really. I love the action and the fighting scenes of it. My problem is the parts I enjoy of manga are like the free time scenes, and all of it
Yeah.
was just like a lot of fan service. And I was just
No.
like,
If you got to this part, you would remember this part. I'm
okay,
telling you right now because it's very much a like it's his backstory and it explains who he is. That he doesn't know who he is basically, but it explains who he is. But it's such like a shot from left field that there's no way in like any universe that you would forget it.
okay.
So
Then maybe I didn't get that far. I did
yeah,
get pretty far. I didn't finish it or get near the end, but
it's
I did
pretty
get a
close
good
to the
chunk.
end. I think it's
Oh,
like
then yeah, I didn't get there. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
because I think it's like 40 volumes, 40 chapters in, 40 chapters in.
40 chapters or 40 volumes?
I don't remember.
Because I'm like, I definitely think I reached chapter 40, but that's back when he's like introduced. Well,
Yeah,
he's not. It's not quite that late, but it's like he's introduced close to that
it
chapter
might be
count.
40 volumes because I read it on
Okay, it's not. It's
Sesamemes.
37 volumes in total. So
Okay, I was gonna say I'm like I don't think
I was like,
it's.
I
But
don't think it's that
I
long.
remember it being like it was 40 or 50 or something where it happened, and I was like, but that might just be how that website had things cut up as well.
Yeah,
So
sometimes certain places cut things up
yeah,
strangely.
but it is decently far because that website also I think it went up to 60 total, so it's very close to the end.
Yeah. Like Air Gear wasn't bad. Like I really like the concept of Air Gear. I just think that when I was younger, I there's things that I wasn't as like picky on
Mm-hmm.
things, and now I'm like, okay, now there's certain things I'm like, I don't care for that in my fiction now.
Fair.
So it's like not bad, it's just not for me.
It's a very
So
interesting sports anime, that's for sure.
yeah, it the sport I like the sport aspect of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that aspect of it.
Mhm. Let's go to a
Um
classic, unless you have one.
ooh, I do. So kind of still sticking in. I don't think you've ever watched or read this one though.
Mm-hmm.
Sticking with like popular shonen. Um, have you ever watched Nura no Mago or Nura Rise of the Yokai Clan?
No, you've mentioned this one before though.
Yeah. Nura's dad and grandfather, they all look the same in like their night forms. Well, their dad and grandfather both just look like that in general.
Mm-hmm.
But Nura's night form looks like this. They all are hot. Hot damn. By far. Just Nura's
Okay.
dad, Rihan, is let me just send you
I have
the
the characters
listing.
pulled up.
Like, well, mind you, if you look up the grandfather, the first image you're gonna see of him is his regular state, and he just looks like a fucking worm.
Oh
Um,
my god.
but like when they show what he really looks
Oh,
like, you're
okay.
just like and then his dad and God, just they all look great. I love them. They're so beautiful.
I remember seeing the posters for this, and I think the main reason I ever skipped it is because like his hair is on something.
Yes, and that's because of their monster type and their head shape.
Mm-hmm.
But the
I don't like the fact that you
goddamn.
said head shape on that because now I'm picturing his head going back into that.
I mean, have you looked at the grandfather's like worm form? Not like it's
Uh,
not actually worm form. It's like his default, like what he actually looks like. Like that's like essentially how their heads are.
oh my god, that's
But
terrifying.
like, God, my God, they're handsome.
Oh lord.
Rihan especially has a special place in my heart.
I do like the character designs a lot, but yeah, I feel like the main reason I probably like skipped over it was because like again that hair is defying fucking gravity.
Yes, it's supposed to.
um.
And it's defying all sorts of reason in my brain, in my heart.
Oh my gosh. I'll have to check it out at some point because it like it doesn't. I remember reading into it. It didn't seem bad.
Yeah, it's good. It definitely has like early on a monster of the day formula.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but you slowly, but the monster, it's like reverse monster of the day formula almost.
Okay.
Because it's not when the main characters are the monsters, you know.
Right.
But it kind of has like that feel to it initially in the beginning, and then you kind of work more plot wise. There's
Mm-hmm.
plot throughout, but sometimes they'll have episodes where they work the plot through that kind of episode of the day kind of style.
Okay. And yokai. What about Inuyasha?
We all had a crush on Inuyasha girl and Shishomaru.
I'm not gonna lie, I hated Inuyasha. I was all for Shimmer though.
Okay, I definitely it was very small, but I had a little crush on Inuyasha.
I was a Koga stan.
I hated Koga with all of my being.
I was like that with Inuyasha. I was like, bro, this man can't make up his mind over one woman or another. Koga at least knows what the fuck he wants.
Oh god, Koga just I don't know. I don't know what it was, but just being like heedlessly rejected like constantly that I'm just like, man, give up, boy. Give up.
He was rejected, but Kogame also like played into him a bit too and played with it to make it Inuyasha jealous, which was very
Well,
shitty
yeah,
of
once
her.
in a while.
But
Once in a
so
while. Yeah.
he had the hope. He was given the hope because she didn't always like outright reject him. She kept him there so she could
Yeah,
have
she'd
that
be
feel.
angry at Inuyasha. She's like, fine, I'm just gonna go off with Koga.
Yeah. So like it wasn't like always rejection on him. Like he had his hope, but yeah, I was straight for the Koga, but Shishomaru 100%. Also Naraku.
Yeah, that rocket wasn't bad.
Um, this
Gosh.
design was really fucking good.
Yeah. You just reminded me of like her other works too.
Mm-hmm.
Her newest work, Mao. Mao and Mao. Oh my god. Take my breath away. God damn that ponytail.
Oh my
Just,
god.
just mm, so good.
I only really know Ranma one half or Ranma half.
Ooh.
Which for that one, my favorite was a character called Moose. So,
Ooh.
let's see. Yeah. Not really not really an easy watch if you watched Inuyasha because she very much reuses a lot of her character designs and personalities in her works.
Oh, she does. You can
Yeah.
kind of see it in her work after Inuyasha too, but not
Yeah.
maybe to the same extent.
Definitely probably not because it was very much like Ranma is almost exactly just Inuyasha's personality, and instead of turning from a half demon to a human from time to time, he just turns from a female to a woman or female to a woman, female to male.
Right. And I'm going to vibe check you right here.
Oh boy. Oh,
Check.
oh, what you got?
Because I totally forgot about this series. So I'm gonna whatever I had initially in my pocket for vibe check, I'm throwing that out and putting this one in here instead. So I want to talk about one of her works, Rine. It's currently something I'm reading and I'm really enjoying. Because we're talking about, I'm like, well, I might as well vibe check us right here then.
Right.
So Rine is essentially about this girl who can see like ghosts and things like that. And she like doesn't she know she had like a near death experience where she saw something. She doesn't really know what was going on, but she knew she had this experience, and ever since then she could see ghosts and spirits, and she's just annoyed by them. There's nothing wrong. That people don't think things aren't coming after her. She just sees them and they're annoying.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this guy in her school who's just never shown up there. And when he finally does show up, no one can see him. And she's like, oh my God, no one can see him. Why am I the only one who can see him? And it turns out he's kind of like a Shinigami. Um, and so he kind of helps guide souls to the afterlife. And finds out she can see him. But also guiding souls to the afterlife costs money, and he's broke as shit. So they kind of work together to kind of start guiding souls to the afterlife, and like shenanigans also go on because it's a Rumiko series. There's going to be shenanigans and hiccups and
Oh,
things.
of course.
And it's funny because like he's not very hot. He's not very hot blooded. He kind of reminds me more of Miroku in a way because he's kind of like level headed, but he's like level headed but not level headed. It's hilarious.
He also has that design of like the hairstyle and everything.
Yeah, like appearance wise, he has that. But I wouldn't there he's nothing like him personality wise.
Yeah.
Outside of being kind of calm and collected. It's really been enjoyable. I've read this a little bit of it a while back, and now that it's on the Viz Manga app, I'm like trying to binge read it. I haven't gotten very far, but it is just genuinely enjoyable. And the shenanigans, it's like very interesting because while it's not like the most original concept out there, the way she does it is just really refreshing. And I've just enjoyed every moment of it. Yeah, it's just fun, and the art's pretty, and if you just want a nice read, I think Rinai is a good one to go with, especially if you want, like, the vibe of, like, you're reading or watching Inuyasha, but with something new, I would say definitely check out Rinai.
So what's funny is I actually own one DVD of this that I got like forever
Ooh.
ago. This was one I got like at the random anime DVD store that when I was younger, where I would just, if there was an anime thing, I would buy it, and then I would never find the rest of it. So I have seen, I think it's like 4 episodes on the DVD, and I've seen that. I've never gone around to like actually going through and rewatching it, because that's also kind of my driving force to try and find the rest of the DVDs to finish off the series. But now
This could be a long time. It's a long series.
Yeah,
I had multiple seasons.
It's 75 episodes, and I'm like, but I'm very dedicated to that. I've done that with longer series. So, because I did that with Inuyasha.
Yes. Oh god.
So I if I don't finish it before I own it, it drives me to try and buy it again, or actually buy it. So I do need to eventually watch it, since it has been such a long time since I got on it. So I'm kind of familiar with it, at least.
Yeah. It's pretty nice. It's pretty good. The animation in the anime is pretty good, and it's pretty faithful to the manga. I read manga faster, and it's more accessible, I think, now because of the Viz manga app dropping.
Fair. So yeah, mine. I'm actually a little frustrated on, because like it passed my vibe check. Don't get me wrong, but the reason it took me this long to watch it is because the way the community is, and how I get annoyed with community people.
Yes.
And it's 86.
I want to watch and read that so bad.
So it aired last year. First and second part aired last year, I believe.
Yes.
I remember when it first started airing. A lot of people were talking about, like, okay, first episode's out, or right before the first episode aired, people were talking about, like, oh, this is gonna be a great anime, everyone need to watch it. I know, like, when people tell me I should watch something, I always ask, like, okay, what makes it good? Like, why should I watch this? Because people say you should watch this is good, without having an actual reason all the fucking time, and this was the case for this one. I was like, oh, well, the manga people say it's good. I'm like, okay, cool, so you're telling me to watch something because somebody else told you to watch it. So you know nothing, just manga people told you this was good. Great. And then the first episode came out, and they're like, oh, the first episode's great, this is gonna be best anime for the year, blah, blah, blah. And then, like, I was like, you can't say that after one episode. You really can't. So I just kind of, like, started tuning it out, and then people kind of stopped talking about it as much, and then, like, the next season happened, and I was like, oh, well, this is the best anime of the year. And I'm like, okay, you're one of those people. Fine, I'm just not gonna listen to you. So I put this off for a while. But the premise did, like, catch my attention, so I decided to, like, give it a shot. I was very unprepared, because the synopsis for the series is very underselling it. So 86 is about like, there's a race of humans that live in this capital city that is under attack from the Legion, which is these robots that come out and attack, and you follow this main character as she's walking into the military office or whatever, and she's the commander for a new unit. And they're like, yeah, she commands these drones to fight the Legion, and you learn when she gets in there that these aren't drones; these are actual people that she's commanding. These are the 86. They're the other races that are fighting in their stead, and they refer to them as drones because they don't really consider them people. They play it in a way where it's like, okay, we call them drones because it's easier, so when they die, our commanders don't feel as attached to it, but also a lot of racism tied into it as well, because they refer to them as the 86 pigs, blah, blah, blah. But the first part of the series, the episodes are cut up in a way where the first half and the second half are the same story, but from 2 different perspectives. You'll follow the commander and what she's doing on her side, what conversation she's having that lead up to what decision she ends up making, and then you go to the 86 side and you kind of see what they're doing and what led them up to like when they meet up with, okay, the commander's there, she's giving the orders or whatever, and like what led them to their decisions, and it plays out like that for the first like 11 episodes. So you're getting kind of your world building from that. There's no exposition. There's no like, oh, we're gonna very organically explain this for no fucking reason to a character that should already know this. Like, you get your world building, your character building, and all information regarding this war, regarding these characters, regarding their relationships, just from very organic conversations that they have with each other. And I love that, because I hate exposition. I hate when they have a side character like, oh, I'm so dumb, I don't know what's going on in my own world, please explain it to me. I hate that. The closest you get to this is when like she's having to get a report to her commander or something, and so she's having to explain something. But like that's normal. If you're explaining a situation to your commander, they ask you a question, you have to explain it. Like that's a military thing.
Yeah.
The second part of the series, the remaining 12 episodes, is what I was not prepared for, and I will not go into details, but it deals a lot with like survivor's guilt. It deals a lot with like heavier topics of somebody that's dealing with a war, and like they're asking like, what are you gonna do after the war? Well, if you don't think you're gonna survive the war, why would you plan for after the war? And then you're given an opportunity to possibly plan for it. What do you do? And it handles how a character that has gone through so much, that has carried so much baggage, and how they can sometimes lose themselves in like the overwhelming, like, what do you call it, openness of it all. Like if you don't think you're going to live past a certain date, and then all of a sudden you have more time, how do you deal with that? Like you've already given up. And it handles this in such an amazing way, and I fucking cried. It's so fucking good. I get so attached to these characters. Also, I'm in love with one of the characters, and it's not the main dude, but oh my god, I love him. And he definitely qualifies as a husbando. I'm ready for part 3.
I just want to say I own merchandise from this series, and I haven't even read or watched it yet.
God.
Like, I am so sold on this show already.
Mm-hmm.
I have 3 figures, and I've started buying the light novel so I can finally read it. Because that's the number one thing. I was like, the manga reader said that? Man, it's a light novel, guys. They're wrong.
Light novels, whatever. You know the anime fans are like, oh yeah, the manga readers say it, and they don't know what they're fucking different.
Yeah.
Because I know
that's when those people didn't do their research, is what I was saying.
Well,
yeah,
they never do. But yeah, like the people that read manga told them this was good, and they're like, oh yeah, of course the manga readers say it's good, so it's got to be good. But for me, more cases than not, the manga readers have been very, very fucking wrong, because the manga readers also said Chainsaw Man would be the best anime of the fucking year. That shit was bad. And then they all backtracked and were like, oh, well, it'll get really, really good in the next season. I'm like, you were saying this shit was gonna be fucking amazing this season. Shut the fuck up. You lost your credibility for me.
No, I enjoy Chainsaw Man. But the 86, oh god, no. For me, I follow someone who's a hardcore 86 fan.
Mm-hmm.
So 86 has never like gone away for me. Like, I just see it all the time, and they have very good fan art. Yeah, I just have to say that.
I've tuned a lot of it out, but I've never like fully like stopped caring about the people. I did see that a lot of the anime talk had died down, but a lot of people that were still talking about were still saying good things about it. Mm-hmm. Then I went back and talked to some people who like were pushing it really hard early, and I was like, okay, well, why didn't you continue like pushing it? And they're like, oh, well, it slowed down after like 12 episodes, and I was bored. And like, oh, well, did you also get bored with Attack on Titan after season 1? They're like, yeah, it got really slow. And I'm like, okay, understand, you're a child, go away. Because it's not that it slowed down, it's that the plot
The
line change
constant
every turn.
action of everything happening is
Yeah. It's no longer hype sauce
playing
the
out.
anime. It is now
Yeah.
more political, but the pacing is still there. You just want lots of action and lots of like big explosions and giant titans everywhere. You don't want to actually deal with the story. That's fine. You're a child. Go away. Because 86 is very much that. The first like 11 episodes are very action packed. The remainder of the series is very much more psychological based, which I enjoy because I'm gonna get burnt out if there's too much fucking action packed in my face after like 12 episodes. I'm like, yeah, give me like the action to draw me in, and then give me actual character development to keep me hooked. That's what I want.
Action after a while gets stale if you have no reason to care about the action. So you have to give me a reason to care about the action that's happening for me to stay interested into the action.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just mindless action. And yes, it's cool for like the first 5 minutes, but if you don't have a way to be invested in it, it doesn't mean anything.
Right. Yeah, it's hard. That's why I don't take fucking anime recommendations anymore, because anytime I get like anime recommendations from people, it's never like they never have a fucking reason. They're like, oh, it's just good. It's got good characters and good character development and good world building. I'm like, cool, can you expand on that? And they're like, no, it's just good. The manga people say it's good. And I'm like, okay, you have no opinion. Go away.
I'm a little guilty of this, but I don't want to spoil shit.
But I'm like, oh, like just give me something. And that's why, like, when I try and like explain why I like something, I always try and like, okay, like this is what it did for me. Like it has a good story and it does something well, and I'm gonna explain how it does something well without giving you the details of that. That's all I want. Like, just tell me what makes it good. Don't say, oh, it has good characters, because like that's
like, a lot of things have good characters.
Yeah. Or the worst one is when they give me the fucking premise of the show and say, oh, it's good, it's about this, and I'm like, okay, that doesn't make it good. That's just the premise of the show. you gave me a description that I can read on Mal or Wikipedia. That does not make it good. That just tells me what it is. Like, it's not hard. It's really not hard. Just
just give me something. Be like, they really dive into this and this and this character, and then there's some plot twists. I mean, yeah, I'm 100% guilty of this. I'm just gonna call myself out, and that's just because I'm too afraid of spoiling stuff, because I'm one of those people. The less I know about something, the more I'm going to enjoy it.
Fair.
Typically.
I just need a small smidgen of something. Like, okay, like what am I gonna get out of this? Because especially when we're in an age where there's a lot of anime coming out, and a lot of the ones that are being heavily talked about aren't the best ones that are being like expanded on. Because 86, even in that season, wasn't the most talked about anime up in that season.
Oh no, it wasn't, because I only saw like a small group of people, but those are like a group of people that I trust their anime recommendations for.
Yeah. Like, I've only heard about it mostly through some of the podcasts I've listened to. So, I'm gonna check. I want to see what season what it came out with, because I remember I looked at this earlier when I decided that this was gonna be my vibe check, and I already forgot it was.
I'm proud of you for sticking by your vibe check. I was like, oh nope, now we're talking about this. This is my vibe check. I forgot that I was reading this. The only reason I forgot is because I haven't been consistent in reading it every day, versus I've been reading these other series every day, but if I don't read them every day, I'm going to make zero progress because I can only read one chapter a day.
Fair.
So I'm like, eh.
Oh yeah. So 86, like on Mal, they had the Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime season 2 was out. I remember a lot of people pushing that because people love to try and annoy me with isekais. The Detective is Already Dead. I remember somebody talking about Kobayashi Dragon Maid season was out. That was Girlfriend was out. I remember people talking about that.
What season was it?
It is summer 2021.
Oh, there was also Fruits Basket. No, Fruits Basket had just no Fruits Basket. Was it Fruits Basket?
Wait, no, it would be spring. No, Fruits Basket wasn't out. Tokyo Revengers, My Hero Academia Season 5, To Your Eternity, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro. Like, those 4 are above 86 in ranking on Mao currently. And I remember hearing a lot about those. Fruits Basket Final was that season.
Oh, okay. Now I know. I'm like the season rings a bell in my brain, and now I know why. Because there was one of my favorites, which is from. Well, what the heck is this below 86? What the hell? One of my favorites was in this season too, but people didn't talk about this one either a whole lot, except for like this small group on the internet that I follow.
Which one?
Uramichi Onisan, and mind you, the guys in that series are all very husbando as well.
Oh
They're very like real tired husbando, but yes, they're immensely relatable.
I mean, I heard more people talking about Odd Taxi than 86. And Odd Taxi is lower on the ranking on here.
You know what's so funny is I've heard more people talking about Odd Taxi like this year than I did while it was airing.
Yeah. Very much same. Also, Megalobox Season 2 was out that season. Like, there was so much that was being talked about that season. I felt like 86, I heard like maybe 4 or 5 people talking about it. It was only until like a couple months ago when I started hearing about it again. I was mostly hearing about it in podcasts where they were like, "Oh yeah, fucking great series." Actually, can I go on a side tangent?
Yeah.
All right, so I was after I finished. This is not related to 86. I realized because I thought I was talking about 86. Now I realize I'm talking about Tokyo Revengers Season 2.
You're good. You're good.
I was like, wait, no, they weren't talking about that. So I was listening to something. And they were talking about Tokyo Revengers Season 2, and I was like, okay, I can finally watch this episode because they're talking about this, and I finally finished it, so I don't have to worry about spoilers. And they were saying that they don't like Takemichi because he's a stereotypical, whiny, self-doubting shonen protagonist like Deku and Naruto. Now, my problem with that was Naruto's not a whiny, self-doubting protagonist, right?
No, Naruto's always self-doubting. Naruto?
Yeah. And also, the whiny, self-doubting thing isn't a stereotypical shonen protagonist thing.
No.
That's actually a rather new thing. Deku is kind of broke the mold there by being the most annoying, self-doubting, and whiny protagonist. That's why a lot of people don't like him, because he's not the stereotypical shonen protagonist. And that's also why some people love him.
That's why some people like him a lot, and some people really don't like him because he's not.
Yeah. And then they continued to go on like, I preferred characters that weren't self-doubting and weren't the stereotypical shonen protagonists like Gon from Hunter x Hunter or Tanjiro. Like, isn't Tanjiro also kind of whiny and self-doubting?
No, Tanjiro's not whiny. As a Tanjiro fan,
Season 1 he is.
No, he's more because he works his ass off to like get to where he's at.
He's still more whiny than like your stereotypical shonen protag, though.
No, I wouldn't. Whiny and Tanjiro is not 2 words I'd use together. No.
He cries a lot.
He cries, but he's not whining.
He's crying. It's still the same.
Crying and whining are 2 different things. Because you can cry while you whine, but when you cry, you're not always whining. I don't think Tanjiro is a whiner.
Well, in that case, Deku doesn't whine because he just cries a lot.
Well, then this Deku. So then, are we just using the word whine all completely incorrectly as a whole community? That might be the case.
That's what. Again, I'm paraphrasing, or I'm saying what they said. But in the context that they're using it, if they're using it to describe Deku, then they're referring to them crying and being self-doubting, and them being kind of like the weaker side and not the more aggressive side that generally Naruto, which they're wrong on, Gon, which they're wrong on, and well, actually no, they were right on Gon. One Naruto, Gon, Luffy, Goku, like Bleach, Ichigo's, like the stereotypical shonen thing is to not be a crybaby and to be strong, be kind of dumb, but like the very straightforward strength that like believing in yourself even when you really don't have a leg to believe in yourself.
But Tanjiro does that.
He whines a lot. He cries a lot, and he's in the like. I've only watched the first season,
but he's not crying for himself.
But he still cries a lot.
He's not crying for himself.
Again, I say I've only watched the first season.
Yeah.
So in the grand scale of things, I'm sure he probably gets a lot better at it later on because he did get better at it by the end of the first season. But in the first season alone, a majority of that is him crying and being like, "How am I gonna do this? What am I gonna do? My sister's a demon. My family's dead." That's a lot of the first season. They get past it. He does. I do see the character growth, but in the beginning, he is that, which Naruto, Luffy, and Ichigo are not really that at the beginning at all.
No, and if you see it with like Naruto, Luffy, or Ichigo, because they have their moments of weakness, but all of it's shown more as like flashbacks.
Yeah.
Versus with Deku and Tanjiro, you see it more in the moment, and you're getting that character growth more on the journey with you, versus a lot of the shonen characters we run into currently have already kind of worked past that initial trauma.
Yeah.
So, like they're still working through it overall, but
Yeah.
like instead of going through it with your viewers, it's something that is a motivation that we find out maybe a little bit more details after the fact.
Right. Which I don't know. It just struck me as weird because they're like, "Oh, we don't like whiny characters like Naruto or Deku," and I'm like, Naruto's not whiny.
Yeah, Naruto's not whiny.
And they're like, "We don't like stereotypical characters or shonen characters. That's why we like Gon from Hunter x Hunter." I'm like, Gon is very much the stereotypical shonen character.
Every character fits in a stereotype of some sort.
Yeah. Granted, these people also said that they didn't like the end of the second season of Tokyo Revengers because Mikey's too strong and overpowered, and he just kind of handles all the situations. But these people are also...
Oh my god, they have not read the manga then.
No, here's the problem. These people are major JoJo simps.
Oh.
So these people are just like, they're the epitome of, we're the pot, we're calling the kettle black. I know, it bothered me so much. I watched through the entire episode, but I was just like, the first bit of that episode when they were talking about this, I'm like, you guys are just dumb. I'm sorry. Excuse me? And I'm sorry if y'all end up listening to this some fucking how, but I was at work and I was listening in on this and I'm like, oh no, I want to scream through my headset right now. Anyway, so husbandos and Tokyo Revengers.
Tracking.
Valid. Yeah, Chifu used to for me. So Mikey with the short black hair and the tank top with the button-up shirt.
Yes.
Oh,
time skip Mikey. Yes. All variations of time skip Mikey, I will say.
I'm not, again, this is another one that like I always go for long-haired characters, but one black-haired Mikey with the short hair was one thing, but then they also did a slight flashback where he was still with the short hair, but it was still blonde while he was talking to Draken and them. And I was just like, oh my god, please cut your hair off, please.
He's like, why do you look better with short hair instead of long hair?
No. Oh my god. But yeah, that last scene of Mikey had me going. I was like, god damn. Yeah, Tokyo Revengers got me fucked up.
I'm just really curious on what I really want the anime to be completed so I can hear your total thoughts.
There should be only like, because the way it feels, it only feels like there might be like one more season left. And I don't know how much manga is left.
There should be, I think, 2 or 3, maybe 2 minimum seasons left, because they wouldn't be able to wrap up the rest of it in one more season.
Okay.
I know that. And like one full-length season, I'm talking like 2 core.
So the
most of Tokyo Revengers is like usually a 12-episode season.
Well, first season was 24. So,
okay, yeah. So
but this latest one was only 13.
Yeah, because that was only one small arc. Because this arc, I don't even think this is like halfway through the
Okay,
series. So, because
that's
there's
fair.
like 30 something volumes, it's almost 40 volumes.
Okay, well, I'm still happy with that regardless. It just felt like,
Yeah.
okay, it feels like this could be the final arc, but if
Yeah.
that's not the case, I'm
Yeah,
fine with that as
the
well.
journey is it's a really good journey.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'll say that.
Yeah.
Gosh, what else is the one thing?
Is there
Oh,
anyone in Boku no Hero that you classify?
God, people are not gonna like me.
Oh, it's fine. I can make them hate me more if you want to go ahead.
I like Endeavor. Leave me alone.
Okay, maybe I can't cover that up.
No, you can't. I was like, you ain't gonna like this either. What are you talking about? You ain't gonna like what I'm gonna say. I like Endeavor. I like him as a character, and I think he's attractive. I think he has a lot of faults, but I like him as a character.
I think if I
And I
had to
think,
pick anyone off a design, it would be Hawks.
oh, I mean, yeah, he's good too.
Yeah. But if I want to piss off the Boku no Hero stands, like those people are fucking wrong in the head because most of the people simp for either the guy that's a living scab or the Mr. Krusty Pants, and I'm like, bro, why you gotta pick the grossest two people in the entire show to be your objects if I want to fuck that? I don't understand. Like, don't get me wrong, Dobby's a decent villain. He's probably the best villain in the show because of the way he's played out. The Mr.
Yeah.
Krusty, not so much. But like Mr. Krusty's like constantly itchy and having flaky skin and chapped lips. Why are you gonna think that's hot? And like Dobby, his character design's really fucking cool. But once you realize he fucking bleeds from those scabs and his face is literally stapled together, and the rest of him is probably like that too. Like he probably has scabs on
the
his face.
cosplays are very nice because
Yes.
they make it very attractive. But if you were to actually run into someone like that, it would not be that attractive.
Yeah,
It would be very,
no.
very scary.
Like, come on, guys. Y'all can do better than this. Like, first, like this is worse than the mindset of the people going for Gara that's covered in fucking sand with no eyebrows. Like, please have standards. Like, why? I don't understand.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I enjoy good Toya fan art and a good
I can enjoy the fan art, but at the same time, I'm like, this isn't going to be Husbando. This isn't even going to be like my top character here.
I just realized I am low key saying spoilers for My Hero Academia without even realizing it. Oh my god!
It is not spoilers. People predicted that shit from the first fucking season.
I know. Okay, but like God, because like it's currently like in the chapters right now, and no one's calling him Dobby anymore. So I forgot that his name was Dobby. I'm like, what the hell?
It apparently already happened in the anime too. The reveal's already
yeah.
So you're fine. I don't.
You're fine.
Like again, like they predicted that shit in his first appearance. Like they didn't even try to fucking have they should have just made it obvious in the series by like bringing word to it more if they were gonna make it that fucking obvious, because they tried to treat it like it's gonna be a big plot twist when it's not.
Well, it's not plot twist, but I think you need to give people theory bait, even if they're people. It's a really easy theory to uncover.
That's not theory bait. That's a theory whole fucking meal.
Yes, but I guess people that like think that they're onto something and make it so it generates discussion. Because there's always going to be those few people who are like, no, there's no way.
There was never that though. Always.
There were people. There were people.
I never saw it. It was always just like what it was his first appearance, like, oh, what if he's Endeavor's son? And then like the next season happened, they're like, oh, he's definitely Endeavor's son, because they immediately bring up that Endeavor's son is dead. And they're like, I was like,
no,
they laid it out on a fucking platter. Like that this wasn't even like theory bait. This was just like, hey, by the way, this is who he is. We're just not gonna say it yet.
Yeah, but people still like play devil's advocate though. It's usually what I would see is people would like discuss like, but what if everything that's super duper obvious is not what's going on, and people read too much into things? Like there was a lot of really interesting fan discussion regarding it.
Okay, but there's also fan discussion on whether Deku's dad is All Might or whether Sakura and Sasuke actually had a kid, or if Sarada is actually like somebody else's kid. Like, there's fan discussions on things that, like, yeah, that's not it. That's very obviously not it. So, like, people have fan discussions on things that are just like, okay, it's very canon. That is not the case.
Yeah, but those discussions are kind of help what bring people in the curiosity and bring people's attention to
Yeah, but
titles too.
it's not the same thing though. Like you can have the fan discussions like that like, okay, this is so far off basis, but it brings people into the discussion about it. Like, okay, the what ifs are still kind of fun. But it's no longer just a fan discussion if you're like, okay, well, when are they going to reveal this? Because this is obviously a thing. Like, I don't want to bring up Oshinoko, but it's literally the same thing of like the big plot twist is like, it's not a plot twist, even though people keep treating it like a plot twist, because it's literally, it's here, we laid it out on a table for you, and it's right here in front of your face, and then later down the line, if you still haven't got it, we're shoving a fucking feeding tube in your throat to make you like absorb this knowledge. Like,
all right, I just want to say, when before the anime came out, when the manga was first coming out, that took everyone by surprise. Not a single person was expecting that, because we all thought that the whole manga was going to follow her.
Well, also
because that came out as like chapters, that took the manga readers by a complete shock when it was first coming out.
But it took the anime community by surprise too. But
yeah,
the people that are watching it, that are anime only, are watching it. These are the same people like, oh well, I turn my brain off when I watch anime. Like, so, and I think that's the biggest problem. And I think that's the biggest difference. I don't turn my brain off when I watch anime. I watch it and I take in every scene and every like dialogue that's happening, which is why I have a lot of problems with it. But like, most of the people are like, oh my god, I never saw that coming. I'm like, well, yeah, because like 10 minutes ago you're saying you really only enjoy anime where you can just turn your brain off, which is why you watch a bunch of shitty fucking isekais, because you can turn your brain off.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So I was like,
I agree with the isekai one.
So it caught like all the like everyone I talked to that likes the show, saying like, oh yeah, it caught me by surprise, and I'm like, yeah, but you turn your brain off during anime, like, so you're not thinking hard into it. I wasn't even thinking that hard into it because I didn't expect that much out of it, and I was still like, well, this only makes sense if they're going to go this route, and then they went that route, and I was like, okay, well, I wasn't even paying that much attention because I was losing my mind. I was trying to pay attention. But yeah, like I feel like the Dobby thing's the same thing, where it's just like it catches people by surprise if you aren't paying attention to the series. Which I don't know why you would pay attention to My Hero Academia. There's not a lot there to pay attention to, but it's just it's in your face, and I like a little study. Like, you could always kind of predict things if
in any manga you can always kind of predict things.
But there's a difference between like, oh, you come into my house and you see like 5 Nana posters, like, oh, you must like Nana, or you coming into my house and be like, hey, I have 5 Nana posters right here. I really love Nana. Like, there's a difference. There's a huge difference of like, oh, you notice it and you kind of like, oh, jump to that conclusion, versus me literally spitting it in your face 2 seconds in. And I like the subtlety into it.
Yeah, that would be, someone walking into my room and seeing all the Fruits Basket posters being like, I think you should like Fruits Basket. No.
Yeah.
More than that.
and that's when I say, like, it's technically bad writing for that. Like,
yes and no, because I don't think it works as an anime. In anime writing style, it does not work. I think when you're writing stuff, this is not just like Shonen Jump, this is like in general. When people are reading stuff as it comes out week to week, not or month to month, those little things happen so far away that you're not even thinking or focusing on them. So when you're reading something week to week, it seems like it's a really great, because was such a long time ago in your eyes if you're keeping up with it week to week.
Which is why I said Oshinoko would have been better if they would have made that 3 episodes. It would have made it mildly better, at least, because I feel like since they condensed that all into 1 episode, it made that way too like packed in and way too obvious.
Mhm.
Granted, I don't think it would salvage it for me. I still think I would still have a lot of problems with it. But even to that credit, there are a lot of shows that I have binge watched that have the little subtle hints to something happening, and I never fucking saw it coming. And the other people that either watched it week to week or binge watched also never saw it coming. But then you can go back and rewatch and like, oh, they actually did kind of allude to it here, but it's so well done that you just didn't notice it the first time watching through.
Oh
And
yeah. I've
like
yeah.
Fruits Basket.
Fruits Basket's one.
There's a couple in there that like they if you go back and you reread or rewatch it, you're like, oh shit, it was actually kind of fucking obvious. But
Yeah, there's a lot of in your face things in Fruits Basket that you don't find out are very in your
yeah,
face until
but
until you finish it. You're like, oh shit.
yes, but it's done so well that I reread that series so many times when it was
Same.
airing and when it was coming out, or not airing, but like the mangas were coming out. Because before I got to like the one really big spoiler, I would reread my volumes over and over again.
Yep.
I did it over and over. So I
Same.
had read all those books multiple times, still never caught on. So when I got to that volume, I was like, holy shit, wait, what? When the fuck? And then I went back and reread. I'm like, oh, wow. So like it can translate really well into anime and manga. It's
Mhm.
just
Yeah, it's just certain writing styles might not translate. One thing is certain writing styles for people might not translate over well in different mediums.
I don't know. I think that writer could have done better because as much as Kaguya-sama is not really my thing, I from what I've understood, the way they kind of play this whole mind game thing is written really well. Grant, I haven't watched it, so I can't really say, but from everything I've heard, that the interactions between everybody and like the guessing game was
Yeah,
done
that way
really well.
it's a much more laid back series. It's not
Yeah,
made to be like gotta figure everything out kind of thing. It's
yeah,
more the mind games and the psychological elements more of as like it's more comedic.
yeah. Also, I
Um,
feel like Oshinoko would have been just fine if it was never a reincarnation thing and it was just been a revenge story with just the kids. It didn't have to be a creepy 30-year-old in the body. I feel like that really just adds nothing to it. I feel like not much at all would change in the story if that was the case. Because I don't know. I
um, I think it would change a few things. Um, but no,
regardless, back to
I
husbandos.
but so I'm gonna take it back because you talked
Mhm.
about things that do really good foreshadowing.
Uh huh.
To do to like things that you would never think of, like to foreshadow small things that you would just never ever imagine,
Hmm.
and you go back and you're like, what the fuck? Um, that's not what I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna talk about the husbandos in that show, and I'm gonna be make it short.
Hmm.
Idolish 7 has fantastic
God.
husbandos. Hot damn. I'm gonna call out my Idolish 7 Oshi, Kujo 10. But also Momo and Yuki from Rivale are also great. And
Oh my god.
I love them all. I'll talk about them more, but everyone in that show is absolutely dateable. Yeah, they're all good. They're all good. You want to protect them all.
Can I say that the main reason I've never gotten into Eilish 7 is the main reason I won't get into Honkai Star Rail is because I just don't find any of the characters stand outish enough for me.
Um, I think that's why so that's the thing. I totally understand that because
Hmm.
I think that's part of the reason I didn't start it either. Because I've seen it around for a long time and I knew I would like it if I got into it because it's Arena Tanemura's art. And I was like, okay. And then I got into it and like first season one is just like it's not a giant prologue because stuff does happen. Um, but shit doesn't get real until like season two.
Yeah.
Um, and then that's when you're kind of hooked. Um, but I think but what you learn to like the characters through season one, you start getting attached to them through season one, and then season two happens, and you get more attached, and things happen. Um, so I totally get that,
Yeah.
but you kind of really with Idolish 7, I feel like you really pick your favorites based more off of personality. Um,
I guess
But
for
and then you become more attracted to them afterwards. But my God.
an idol show though, because like I've watched two that I've really enjoyed. And the two things that they really have in common is like one, the unique character design that really pulls me in, but
Mm.
also the music and like the way the music, singing and everything is portrayed. Utapri, like we
Yes.
said earlier, amazing dance sequences, really fucking good. Visual Prison, which I recently watched, which is the vampire one. Stunning visuals for when they have their music numbers. I fucking love it, and all the characters are really well designed, and I love their voices, and I love the style of music. Idolish 7, I've seen so many of the music videos, and not only is this the music
Okay.
stuff I would not listen to, but a lot of the music is just like, here's a dude sitting on the stairs and we're panning over to him. Here's a dude sitting on a letter and we're showing him. And here's a dude standing over here.
So
And I'm like,
there is a lot of those music videos, but the
mm-hmm,
ones that are based off their openings
mm-hmm.
are really good.
I feel
They're
like
like
I've seen those
full
somewhere.
on animated sequences with moving and dancing and oh gosh,
But a
so
lot of
good.
the music is also a lot more poppy than what I
Yeah,
thought it
it's a
was.
very poppy,
Yeah, which is
very poppy
I'm
feel.
not for it.
I think if you were to watch like the Zool ones, you might like Zool.
Go ahead and link me and
Because
I'll
there
listen to
Zool's
them
not
because
Zool has pop elements, but Zool's not as
yeah.
poppy.
You can link me those later, and I'll check them out because I've seen a lot of them because I get them recommended a lot because I look at the Utapri stuff. But Utapri
Mhm.
was also really pushing it with the pop sounds for
Yeah.
me.
I
So
definitely got more. If you watch when you watch Idol 7, you don't realize like all of the songs are reoccurring, and you get acclimated to the music really quickly as you watch it, and then you can go back and you're like, oh wait, there are music videos for some of them, and some of them there aren't.
okay,
But
because
thing with Idol 7 is like most of the songs that are in the anime have already been released, and people have already been listening to them because it's based off the game.
fair. Also,
So
I looked
a
up
lot of
Zool
people.
and they the Zool also looks boring.
No, I didn't mean like as a group. I
Yeah,
just think like their
yeah.
music you might like more. Zool's not my favorite group.
No,
But a lot of people love them.
I was just looking
I
at the
definitely say
characters.
don't knock it until you give it a try, because they do a really good job of making the characters interesting. Like are introduced to this. I can go. I'll save it for going into it another day.
Shio, my entire thing is knocking it before I try it.
I know it is. It is very much a thing, but I'll go into it on another
Yeah, yeah,
episode.
yeah.
Yeah. I
We'll
just
do
want
it.
to talk about that. If I went through this episode and I didn't talk about the 7 husbandos, I would have lost my mind.
All right.
Um.
I'm gonna bring up something that you're gonna hate.
Oh God, I already know.
We're gonna talk about Yuri on Ice for a minute.
Oh no, I didn't know that, but okay.
Did you think
I'll
I was
give it
gonna
to you.
bring up Redo of Healer?
Anytime you say you're not gonna like it, that's the first thing my mind goes
What
to.
husbando is in Redo of Healer? Because it's definitely not the main dude.
None, and that's why I'm just like I've erased that series as much as I could from my brain, girl.
I
Like
mean, granted, the dude that Norn always steps on is kind of hot, I guess.
I don't even remember. Anyways, you said Yuri on Ice. I've never been happier to hear Yuri on Ice. And I mean that like with a lot of weight.
So yeah, unlike you, I actually don't really have much of a problem. Like, I don't think it's the best thing ever. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, you can enjoy it.
But
That's fine.
but Yurio, my little angry boy, I absolutely adored.
Yeah, Yuri on Ice does have good character design. I will say
Yeah.
that.
You know, that's just a little scene of him stretching where I'm just like, I was sold on his character even before hearing him speak and get angry at everything. But nah, there's a lot of
Yeah,
really
now that I think about it, he's very much in your like archetype of I like this kind of character.
uh-huh. He's short, he's angry, and he's flexible.
Very, very flexible. I was
uh,
watching a clip from Yuri on Ice actually earlier today. Not by choice.
hmm
Yeah, I can see why you like that character.
yeah.
There were because it was all clips about them.
I really do think that reaction series I sent you that is of Yuri on Ice, I really think you would enjoy it because the person really is just kind of making fun of a lot of stuff in it. And it's done.
Nah,
It's fucking great. He just makes fun of so much stuff.
No, my hookups with Yuri on Ice isn't that it's bad. It's just it's more like it's shoved down my throat and is just not for me. Um, I don't know. I don't know what it is. To me, it's just I was kind of bored. I liked the sport element of it, like, oh my god, who's gonna win? I like that. But I couldn't get invested in any of the characters, and I did not care.
I was
I was like,
sold. I was all for this romance throughout the entire thing, and I was like,
I was not. I
also,
think that's people were hyping up the romance for me, and I think that's part of it. And I
see,
was like,
I think this is
okay.
also the problem of us having very very different circles, because I guess because I hang around a very more shonen and masculine group. Most of the people are like, oh, it's the gay skating anime. No, I don't want to talk about it. So like, the only time I ever heard anything positive about Yuri on Ice was at the cons that I was going to when we were getting ready for the Yuri panels, or the Aoi panels, or the hentai panels.
Oh my god, this is actually really funny because you're actually kind of off base on that for once.
Oh.
Normally you'd be right about that, but this was recommended to me by like coworkers at my old workplace who don't watch a whole lot of anime. And I was like, oh, okay. And yeah, and the one person who was pushing it was like an ex-boyfriend.
Oh my god.
And I was like, oh, okay. But also this ex-boyfriend had really bad taste in anime. Really bad taste of anime.
You mean it's the reason they're an ex, right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes. They're the same person who told me that Full Metal Alchemist came out back in the 90s.
Oh my god.
And that the actual Full Metal Alchemist that we have, like the by the main manga that we know and love, was actually based off of this like one shot from the 90s. Like but there was like a Full Metal series from the 90s and was a remake of that. And no, there is not. There's no evidence supporting this. Like, oh my god, they were.
Your ex should meet my ex, because my ex thought Rei Ayanami was top tier waifu, so I think they'd get along great.
Oh my god, and they're the same one who told me that the middle of Fruits Basket was completely pointless.
No, my ex. So when I was when I first watched Fruits Basket, the original anime,
yeah,
this was before I had the manga. My ex tried to convince me that Akito was the dragon, and I was like, no, Hattori is. And he's like, no, Hattori's a seahorse. Akito's the dragon.
I can definitely see the Western stupidity. Because it's obviously like a very like Eastern reference because of the kanji used. Yeah. So it's definitely something that they're gonna pick up on immediately because they're gonna know. Like they're like, oh, this is obvious in their face. Whereas for us, we gotta kind of put to but it's very clearly stated in there to be like, because you know he's the dragon, you know.
Yeah.
Like, after that's like the reveal, it's very clearly stated like he's the dragon. Yeah. It's just a lot of people are like completely overlooked that because of everything else that's happening. Yep. So, but no, it is strictly stated that he's the dragon.
Oh, here's a fun one. Ouran High School Host Club.
Oh.
Who was your go-to?
Oh god, I'm basic. I love Tamaki. I'm sorry.
Of course.
I just that he was the reason I like actually just wanted to finish the manga, because I would refuse to read the manga at first. He was the reason I wanted to finish it.
Fair.
And now I love it, so it's like it doesn't matter anyway.
So I was a very big Kyoya initially.
The choice.
But now I say, and I immediately forgot his name. The not Honey Senpai, the tall
Mori Senpai.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mori Senpai is a good one.
Yep.
He definitely.
The twins were also pretty nice.
I never cared too much for the twins. Like they're fun characters and they're enjoyable characters, but they weren't like I love them forever for me.
They were the fun characters where I didn't have to deal with you know, Tamaki or Honey in either relationship, fictional wise. So when because every time I had to write fanfic, because I would get requested Ouran fanfic a lot. Slight note that I used to write on fanfic.net, and people used to commission me to write their favorite ships. And I hated when they would make me do like Mori or Kyoya because I would always have to include Tamaki or Honey, and I hated writing Honey. Small child energy, I can't do it.
Oh yeah, that makes sense for you.
But I would do it if I got paid for it. So writing about the twins was the most fun because I didn't ever have to deal with either of that. It was either the two of them or them with Haruhi. And that was ever it. So, and then there was that one person that asked me to do something with them and the maids. That was weird. Made it work though, but
made it work.
You know, that's probably still on the internet somewhere.
So there's a manga I really like. It's called in English it's called Dawn of the Arcana.
Okay.
In Japanese it's called Reimei no Arcana. The main character, Caesar, he's a fucking asshole when you first meet him, by the way. Mm-hmm. He's pretty attractive. Like he goes through like a bunch of phases of looks, but he's like Mr. like, I'm the prince and I'm ignorant and I'm mean and you will listen to what I say. And then he kind of moves to be a little bit more understanding over time, and it's like he loses his like asshole-ish personality when he loses his bulk of hair because he has a lot of hair at first. But in all iterations, he's pretty nice. He's pretty fine.
I'm googling it. Is there a character named Julian in this, or is this just I'm pulling up a wrong suggestion?
There might be. Okay. I think there might be a side character with that name.
Because like I typed it in, and then like one of the suggestions, the Arcana Julian Memories, and like that's awkward.
No, that's no. This one, there's no anime adaptation because none of their works by this author has gotten an anime, and they should. Anyways, right now they also have the King's Beast, and all the guys in King's Beast are beautiful. Oh my god.
Actually, the art style reminds me of something. It's not the same person though. No, definitely not. It just gave me vibes from Pandora Hearts.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yep.
Especially because there's like a magical element to it. Mm-hmm. So.
Also loaded with plenty of husbandos. It's been a hot minute since I've watched Pandora Hearts.
I have never watched or read Pandora Hearts.
It's so really good. I generally don't like a lot of Alice in Wonderland stylized stuff, but this is like far enough away from it that really the only things in common are some of the names for the most part.
This is probably the only thing themed Alice in Wonderland that I've had a remote interest in, because usually if I find out there's something Alice in Wonderland themed in anything, I immediately do not want to watch it.
Yeah.
Like, you might now understand my complete hatred for Alice in Wonderland, but it's not because Alice in Wonderland's bad. It's just I have a personal vendetta against it.
I just think it's overdone. Like the gimmick of it is because like there's
back then it was very much so.
Like as much as I enjoy like the original like book because I have read it, I don't know when they try and like spin it into any kind of other medium, it's just kind of weird to me. That and like, okay, this is gonna be. I feel like this is gonna make me sound like an edgelord, and I hate it because it's really me just hating on the edgelords. But I put Alice in Wonderland in the same category as Nightmare Before Christmas because all the alt girls and alt guys were like, oh yeah, I like the Cheshire Cat because he's crazy like me. We're all mad here. And it was the same thing with like Jack Skellington and Sally things everywhere, like Nightmare Before Christmas.
It was like the softer level of that. Like if you had to put that in like levels, it was like the level right before that, like the softer level.
I just didn't like it because it definitely fit a very specific stereotype of people I went to school with that I just like, you're in my kind of group of people but adjacent to it and I just don't like you. Please don't talk to me. And it was always like the really edgy people that were just like, I'm too like cool for you because yeah, I'm crazy like the Mad Hatter and like Johnny Depp, blah blah blah. Like I love Johnny Depp, don't get me wrong, but these people were cringe. That like these were the non-anime people that were cringe. Uh, some of them were actually probably anime people now.
Yeah, no, but no, Pandora Hearts has been one I'm interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I know I've like picked it up before and then just haven't done anything
Yeah,
with it.
I've watched it so long ago. To put how long ago I watched this, I watched this when I was dating my first boyfriend.
Oh wow.
It's
I
been
mean,
a
it is a much older series. There was recently um a new box set of it that just came out too.
yeah.
And that was a really nice. It was really expensive. It was a really nice box set, and I know some of the mangas are really hard to find.
Yeah. It was kind of like which is another one we can probably talk about was this was kind of what introduced me to the art style that got me into Black Butler or Kurosatsuji. So,
Oh.
which would have been my first cosplay because I was supposed to cosplay Grail um, for my first con. Then my ex-boyfriend decided he didn't want me to cosplay because he didn't want me to get male attention. So he wore my
Mhm.
cosplay instead and then got all the female attention.
Of course.
It's Grail.
Yeah.
So, uh, but I did
Oh.
Grail because I loved Sebastian and I wanted to fangirl over Sebastian cosplay.
Yeah, I think everyone, whether they want to admit it or not, at that time had like a small interest or love for Sebastian, whether they
Oh
admitted it or
yeah,
not.
we just
Even guys did.
we just ignore the corset scene and that anime is fine.
Oh no, I love that corset scene. What are you talking
I
about?
did not. I was fine with the
That
scene.
corset, that was the reason I watched that
Oh
anime,
my
girl.
god.
Like I saw that out of context so many times on Gaia Online because someone had it in their signature, and that was every time they posted, you would only see that
Oh
signature
my
of that corset
god.
scene. And so I was like, okay, I'm like at this point, okay, I'm curious. What is this from? And I eventually figured it out, and I'm like, okay, and that's why I checked it out was because of the fucking corset scene.
Oh my god. I'm
I
not
definitely have
surprised
it
by
like
that.
yeah, I have it as like a like on YouTube, like somewhere deep in my old profiles likes somewhere.
I'll do a hot take. I actually enjoyed the second season of Black Butler.
I've never watched the second season of Black Butler
I have
because
no problem with it.
I don't know, I just didn't want to, I guess. I saw the characters, I saw clips, and I was like, I'm not interested.
I thought like again like this is one of those things like oh my god it's not following the manga so it's like it's dumb and I'm like I hate that argument because you can have stuff that's anime only that's still good. It doesn't make it bad. It's just like okay it's not manga so fuck off. Fine whatever. But I think it's Alliance or
Yeah.
Alonsi or something like that or Alliance. Aloes.
Aloes? Aloise? No, not Aloise. It's like Aloes or something.
Yeah, but I thought he was a really interesting character, and his whole like little arc was very entertaining for me. So I enjoyed it.
I found him to be annoying, but I don't
He was
necessarily think it was like bad
he
writing
was
or
very
anything. I just
annoying
yeah.
early, but like his the first episode he was really annoying, but I feel like he grew on me. Like the annoyance chilled out a little bit, especially the more you kind of got to know his backstory and why he is the way he is. And I'm like, oh, you just need a hug, child. I'm sorry. Or maybe you had too many hugs. Actually, let me put it that way. You had too much contact. You just need your space.
Black Butler's just always is a series that just makes me laugh.
Mm-hmm.
Um because my I have an aunt who like really is like trying to be supportive and like you like anime. I think that's cool and interesting, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they met someone who likes anime. So for the longest time, the only anime they knew existed was Black Butler. Because the other person they knew was obsessed with Black Butler and they talk about it all the time. And they were like helping them out, and things like that. Because of like their job or their volunteer group or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So she only knew about Black Butler, and she's like, so when she tried to talk to me about anime, it was only about Black Butler, and I was at the stage where I was like in this stage where like Black Butler's not cool anymore.
Oh
Like,
my
let's
god.
not talk about it. Now I don't care. I'm like, I still
Yeah.
read it and I still enjoy it. But I just remember being like, "Oh, that's the only anime you know. Oh god, what the hell do you think of me?"
Oh my god. Oh, I have another one, which I don't know if you'll know this one because it's based
Okay.
off of it's a video game. But I watched the anime. I've never played. I want to play the game at some point if I can ever find a port of it. Kamigami no asobi. It's in
I've heard of it, but I've never seen it.
it's an otome where like the main character is having to go to a high school with Greek and Norse gods, basically.
Ooh.
So all the males are some form of god. Like you have Apollo, you have Hades, you have even Japanese gods. Tsukiyomi, I think, is there. Um, Balder, Loki, Thor. Um, like which scratches a lot for me because I like mythology a lot. But I actually after this, I want you to like just watch the opening for this show, and you'll probably be immediately sold on it.
Probably. I think I have like a million like otome anime on my like plan to watch
Yeah.
list.
Um, but like my go to on this one is Loki. As much as I love Hades, Hades is a little problem child that needs a hug. He's sweet boy, but my god of mischief. I love what they did with him on in this design for him. So it's a very interesting anime. I wish they would have like done more with it, but I really want it. It's a PSP game. I don't. Did it ever get an English release? I wonder. No English release. So
This looks like it was designed by the same person who designed Utapri, like anime wise, like the character design.
yeah, no idea, but sad. No English release. We need more Otome games. Better.
I know they've been getting better about it. Like there's a lot more coming out for Switch than we know about.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's like a lot of like hardcore Otome fans who are like, there's so many titles, guys. Like you just people don't talk about them. That's why we don't know about them.
Yep. Granted, we're getting a lot of like the newer ones coming in. It's just more.
Yeah,
They need to get faster on porting the older ones because
I'm still waiting for the Utapri games and the Brother Conflict games to come over. I would buy those and play those in a heartbeat.
Should we talk about Brothers Conflict?
Yeah, I pigeonholed myself in that one. I mean, we have the same husbando in that one.
Yeah, the triplet.
Natsume.
Yeah.
Yeah, we like Natsume because
yeah.
he's the only one who's like so far removed also from everyone.
I mean, to be fair, I love all three of the triplets. For
they're entertaining.
All very different reasons.
Yeah. I think they're like because they're the characters with the brothers that have like the most, I guess, character development out of everyone outside of Subaru, who drives me up a fucking wall.
Yeah, I don't like Subaru. I like the idol guy because he's kind of an asshole.
I hate him, but like it's just it's a whole thing. So
yeah. Understandable. I mean, he's kind of like the closest you get to an angry boy in this, though.
That is true.
So,
well, no. There's Yusuke.
He's not really angry. He's more like emo. He's more like grumpy.
Yeah, but he's like, I don't know. The idol one is more like, ooh, I'm gonna manipulate and tease you and be like hot, cold. I can't fucking figure you out. Go the fuck away.
I mean, he can tease me all he fucking wants. I don't care. I'm for it.
You can have him. You can have him. I feel like the older ones are like they're nice to look at, but in context, yikes. Outside of context, you learn more about them in the game than you do in the anime.
Yeah.
From what I've seen, I was trying to watch one playthrough of the game, and it got completely struck down on YouTube like immediately.
Oh yeah.
So saw very little, but you get to find out more about them in the game. I know that. And I
Yeah.
think that maybe if I knew more about them, I'd like them, but um I still like Natsume the best
I feel
because
like
he
of the
just
older, the only one I would
uh
probably even like consider would be Kaname.
oh yeah, oh I forgot about Kaname. How can I forget about Kaname? Mr. Junichi Sawabe's voice again. Mwah. Um God,
Yeah.
of the ending theme, his line in the ending theme was the one I always sing the loudest.
Yeah.
I'm like, cause chef's kiss.
Louis is also pretty okay, but
Yeah,
mm, mm.
he's fun to watch and dub because that's
Yeah.
Jerry Jewel,
Oh god, it is.
and so it's really funny.
I
Um,
I forget how many like A-listers are cast in this
oh god, it's
sometimes.
such a dub. I have the Blu-ray release, mind you, like I bought it, and they
Mhm.
have like one where they talk about the characters and the voices and stuff. And he's quote unquote said that he was told to sound more high when voicing him,
Oh my
and someone
god.
had to explain to him what that meant and what that sounded like.
Oh my god.
And that made me laugh. That's my one of my favorite antidotes in all of anime. I'm like, that is hilarious.
So you mentioned voice actors. So I know I get a lot of bias on some of my favorite male characters based off of who
Mhm.
is voicing them.
Yep.
Do you like who's a
Yes.
voice actor that's just like they voice something and you're just like I'm sold.
I had two major ones, and I've mentioned multiple of their characters
Mm-hmm.
already.
Yeah.
Um, Junichi Sawabe,
Okay.
and Miyano Mamoru.
Fair.
Yeah, those two I'm like immediately jump on. Um, I also Aizen's voice actor Sho Hayami.
Right.
I also will jump anything on.
Jump on many things in that one.
Yes. Well, that that yeah, I didn't catch that.
But I'm not wrong.
Maybe not. There's a few other ones that I come to. There was the oh god, what's his name? Blue Exorcist. Rin. I think it's Rin Okamura's voice actor.
Mm-hmm.
Um, those boys, both of the Okamura brothers, absolute great characters.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, Nobuhiko Okamoto. Him, I like him too a lot.
Okay. Surprisingly, so there's a few for me.
Mhm.
One of them I'm going to mispronounce their name, and I'm gonna feel really bad. So I'm trying to find out like a pronunciation, so I don't like. Uh, but Yuri Lowenthal, I fucking love Yuri's
Oh,
voice.
yes,
In a
yes.
lot of things. It's gonna be really bad because I feel like I'm gonna typecast my voice preferences a lot with this. Um, Liam O'Brien a lot as well. Again, all mine are gonna be dub
Oh,
voice
yeah.
actors because I watch a lot of dubs. Um, Liam O'Brien voices a lot of my favorite male characters. The fact that
Yes.
he does it's gonna be weird. He does the voice for Nightcrawler in a lot of iterations as well for X-Men.
Hmm.
Oh, I love it. He also does Lloyd from Code Geass, and I love it. Not figure out how to pronounce this guy's name. Uh, I'm gonna feel really bad. But Brad Swale.
Oh, Brad Swale.
Okay. I was
Yeah.
like, I don't know if you pronounce the E or not because I know like some different depending on what it is. But
I think he has like a story of someone pronouncing his name with an E that he's talked about before.
I would not be surprised. Because as someone, my last name that I grew up with had an E at the end, and you do pronounce the E, and it's a rare case, so I know what happens, which is why I'm always like on edge of it. But funny enough, like the only character I don't like that he voices as Light Yagami.
Oh, yeah.
But he voices a lot of characters in a lot of different Gundam series that I'm just immediately like, oh my god, please. I've never got to meet him in person, and that is mainly because like in my early 20s, whenever my friends were like, "Oh, he's attending a convention, you should go like meet him," I was like, "No, because he's gonna say hi to me with that voice, and I'm just gonna dissolve into a puddle of goo, and I'm never gonna be able to speak again." So,
See, I was always told that, mind you, this is like stuff you hear on the internet.
hmm
People always said like he was not very nice or friendly, so I was like afraid to meet him, but I never
yeah,
had it. I was going to meet him still, but I missed the timing of the event, and then
fair.
I haven't seen him go to an event near me since.
He doesn't attend a lot of them.
No, not especially not anymore.
Yeah, because I think I had only attended two that he was at, and one of those was very much like a Gundam themed thing, so they had him there because of that. So he doesn't do a lot of con appearances.
Ooh,
The other two I've met, and they are absolutely wonderful. And I did the crazy fangirl thing and made them say lines in my favorite character's voice, and
yes.
I have no regrets.
Ooh. I thought of an English voice actor that I also really like. They're all the roles.
Oh,
Ian Sinclair.
ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Yep. I think like the one that like sold me was when he did God, this is also Husbando character, Reo from Sora Zamai.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yeah, he. So many.
got so many.
Todd Habercorn does a lot of really good voices.
Oh,
Too.
he
Oh
does.
my god.
Does.
He's in Genshin too.
Voice actors, English voice actors, Ian Sinclair. Next one was
So this is gonna be a newer one, which I feel like a lot of people already drool over this one. Jonah Scott.
oh, a lot of people really like him.
He did Akihiko and Given.
Oh, yeah. I Now mind you, I'm a Haruki lover,
Uh
so
huh. But Akihiko has the voice.
he does.
um.
He does. I did actually watch that dub. That is like one of the few like recent dubs I've watched, and it's not like I
Yeah.
said, it's not because I don't like dubs. It's just I watch
Yeah.
more subs.
He was also in 86, which I just recently finished. So,
Ooh.
and he plays one of my favorite characters in that, and my top husbando out of that show. So, kind of biased. And then of course he's in Beastars as Legoshi, which
Yes,
totally,
that's where I learned of him.
yeah, was actually the first thing I heard of him as well. But like some
Oh,
of
see,
the lines
I
he
didn't watch it. I
delivers,
didn't watch it in dub. I just heard of him because all my friends told me how much they love him in
my god,
Beastars.
I don't blame them because like some of the lines he delivers as like I don't care if it's coming out of that wolf's mouth. He
They're
proposes
good.
his love for Haru in that voice, and I'm like, God damn. Yeah, his voice is he's coming up there with a lot of roles. He's fairly new one, but God. Another one, which I looked this up while you were on the phone.
Yep. Sorry.
You're fine. Sean Chiplock, who does Deluxe.
Oh yes.
He also does the voice of Draken in the dub.
Yeah, he
So
does.
I
He
was
does a
like,
lot of good stuff.
yeah, I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. Cause like
His Japanese voice actor is also Deluxe Japanese voice actor is also really good too. So
yeah, I was just like, man, I didn't put two and two together because like I know Sean also does the voice for Future Trunks and Dragon Ball Z, which I don't know you don't know a lot about, but like Future Trunks was one of my OG husbandos like back
yes,
in
it
the day.
was.
So, oh yeah, no voice actors,
Oh,
man.
ooh. Okay, so this is not
Mm-hmm.
based off voice actors at all, but
Okay.
I saw it and I was like, oh yes, how could I not talk about this husbando? He is husband. Oh God. So
Mm-hmm.
their name is Kyoka Kudo, and they're from My Happy Marriage. And or My Blissful Marriage.
Mm-hmm.
It's getting an anime. I'm not sure if it's a TV show or if it's a movie. That's coming out in summer. The
Okay.
manga and the light novel are available for purchase right now. Essentially, it's a story about a girl who is kind of like in this really abusive household, and they just want to marry her off and get rid of her. So they marry her off to this guy who's known to like, because his sister initially they were trying to marry off her older I don't know if it's an older sister, younger sister,
Mhm.
their sister to them, but they're like, "No, no, no, this guy is, like, too much, like, he's not friendly, he tends to toss people aside. We're gonna have you be the one to go over there and be, like, the engaged to him, and he can throw you off to the streets, and then we're done with you. We don't have to worry about you because you're off in the streets."
Right.
So that they do that, and so the person who it is this character I'm talking about, Kyoka Kudo, and he is cold, he's, like, wall up, proper, and he, like, doesn't like her, and he ends up, like, warming up to her, and it's essentially just their story of, like, her happy marriage. It has supernatural elements. It's very early in its run, but I really enjoy it. He
Mhm.
is absolutely, my god, husband material. Watching him just absolutely obliterate people without, like, a second thought, like, "You touch her, you're dead." Like, oh my
Fair.
god. And it's not like a jealousy thing, it's like a
Mhm.
you did a bad thing
Oh my
kinda
god.
deal. Um, no, he is mwah, husband, and he's beautiful, his long ha oh, I c mm, I love him, and I cannot wait for this anime to come out.
Yo, uh, I'm surprised this one hasn't gotten brought up yet, but Reborn.
I Ye so, when it comes to Reborn, I don't think of any of, like, the main cast as husbandos until they're, like, 10 years later.
That's fair because Lambo 20 years later is something.
Okay. 10-year later, Yamato Takashi, he's the reason I read and watched Reborn. He's not my
um
favorite now of all of them, but he was the reason I watched it. Um, but Zanzas in both versions.
oh yeah.
Um, also, Gokudera, 10 year later.
I'm not even gonna mention my obvious one. I feel like I'm gonna get yelled at.
Hibari?
I can't help it.
Yeah, I mean, he's popular for a reason.
Yeah, I'd let him bite me to death, that's for sure.
Oh, I mean, I think I would too. Ooh, Dino. Oh my god.
Okay, so this is gonna be weird because so I found Reborn thanks to
Yeah.
a certain series of fan art of a certain character,
Mhm.
and I spent like months trying to figure out who this character was because they were like, oh no, it's just an original character. Like, no, it's actually from this anime. Um, it's like it was like 3 images done in the same style. But it's Belphegor.
It was who?
Belphegor.
Oh, yeah. People
Yeah.
really like him.
Um. Oh man, his fucking brother. Uh.
Gosh, who there oh, the Gyoto.
Oh my god.
God, I just
Okay,
died.
can we, because this is gonna be manga only, can we talk about the rainbows when they're adults?
Oh my god. Yes.
Oh.
The rainbow babies. The arcana babies. Oh, god.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're all good.
Yep.
Mhm. Reborn, Kiramana know what she was doing. She knew what she was
Oh,
doing.
100%. But
Um,
like, what who was it? The red one, the one that ended up being Hibari's teacher, the Fang?
uh,
Fang?
no, that was, oh wait, that's Dino.
No, was it?
What? Oh, the you mean no teacher? Because Dino's always been like Hibari's mentor
No,
teacher
no,
for
no. I'm
things.
talking about the one of the rainbows, the one of the babies.
Oh, Fawn. Fawn.
Fine, yeah, that one. Uh,
Oh yeah,
adult.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
Um.
was sold.
Also, I like adult Suna too, but
Yeah.
I am a Suna's my favorite character. So
I fucking adore that the series gives you like, okay, these are children, but here's what they're gonna be like as adults, so you can just like have your fun with it.
yeah, and like they're canonic, and like we have canonic like adult content with them,
Yep.
and we're like, yes, thank you.
Oh my god. We need
Um,
a remake of this, please.
I don't need a. I think I love the anime the way it is. I'd be okay with just a continuation. I don't need a reboot.
They would
I'm okay
have
with
to
it.
do a reboot because like with Bleach, it's okay for them to do a continuation because even though the art style's better, the art style back then wasn't that bad. But I feel like the Reborn art style is too dated that people aren't gonna like to be able to have to go back and watch it.
No, not really, because like the later Reborn art style, it's just gonna look more like Psychopaths. Is really what it's going to be. It's just not gonna have that gritty feel to it. But
Yeah,
that's
but
the same art style.
I think it's gonna be too jarring. Like even if they try to like match it, I think it'd be too jarring. I think it's like Bleach at least had a very high quality, at least from what I remember, high quality animation. Well, not saying that Reborn's
No.
bad or anything, but
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have to get a whole new group of people to go back and rewatch this, and like the children that watch anime today are very spoiled.
Oh yeah. I will admit, like Reborn in the very beginning
Yeah.
is it's very hard to get someone new into Reborn
Yep.
without them being ready to commit to the beginning. Because the
Hmm.
beginning's not bad. It's just very different from the parts that you really want them to get into.
Yeah. So that's why I was saying we're gonna have to have a reboot because you're gonna the newer fans are gonna have to go back and rewatch it, and they're not gonna want to do it if it looks like that.
Yeah, it is a lot because I even like the manga, like the art's so different from like the
Hmm.
end.
Yeah.
Um, it was a good glow up.
Yeah,
Um,
it really was. So I'm full for a full reboot of the series because also imagine how much cooler they could have made make those fight scenes now with today's technology and
oh my
today's art.
god.
Like they can do so much more with it.
I'm sorry. God, the Death Parisian Flame.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love the future arc so much, and those battles would be absolutely
Oh
mind
my
blowing.
god, yes.
The Varia battles would be yes, they'd also be insane, but like the future battles, like
Mm-hmm.
God, they're so good.
I it,
Uh,
I feel like it would take off so well because like Reborn itself got overlooked a lot. Like there's a dedicated fan base, but it definitely got overlooked by a lot of people, even in the shonen fan base of things. So I feel like it could benefit very well from having a reboot because there are going to be so many people, especially with like My Hero getting close to an end, Demon Slayer's getting close to an end. We're on this hype of like we have JJK going to be going for a while. Like we're going to need another shonen. Give
yeah.
us reboot
Well,
born.
yes. I do think we're not going to get it until after
Yeah.
if we were to get it. There's a series coming up called Mission Yozakura Family,
Yeah.
and it has very Reborn vibes to it.
Right.
Because it has like that mafia setting and that really like fun, diverse, interesting character vibe. Everyone's different. Everyone looks really neat. The fights are really pretty and really cool. Um, it just gives me a lot of Reborn vibes. I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be after that anime comes out. We'll have to see how that anime does as an anime. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, that manga does as an anime. Um, once once that happens, we'll see what happens with Reborn.
Yeah. But I'm gonna keep like hope because we are in the age of reboots now, so
Yeah,
they
and
are coming.
Reborn is rumored to be getting. It's like there's a big, really popular rumor that it's getting rebooted,
Yeah.
but that is still a rumor. It
Yeah,
is not
but
confirmed.
isn't part of that also gonna be put on hold because isn't one of their other works being remade made into an anime or something?
Yes, Psycho. Oh yeah, her newest work.
Yeah.
Ron. It's the new detective series. Ron. I don't know what his last name is. It's like Kata Moshi. I'm bad with that. But her new detective series, which is also really good, by the way. Oh, it's
Mm-hmm.
Deranged Detective Ron Kata Moshi or something like that.
Okay.
Um, very good series, by the way. Um, gonna say very good. I haven't watched a whole lot of it to really sell you on anything, but I
Yeah.
really good. That's getting an anime coming up soon as well.
Okay.
So,
Something to look
and then it's
forward to.
not to mention Psychopass is getting a new movie coming out in July in theaters. It'll be
Mm-hmm.
just after Anime Expo.
Okay.
So,
Interesting. Okay. Well, any closing husbandos you want to mention since we're getting close to that? We're two
I
thirty.
just want to say there's amazing husbandos in shojo. There's just too many to name.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I would love to touch on all of them, like in the clear moonlit dusk, the main male character. Like, the my problem is that I can't remember their names like
Yeah.
in the moment. Um, they have oh god, Mamura from Daylight Shooting Star, so good, absolutely wonderful, love him.
Okay,
God, I love him.
I'm not the biggest fan of Maid Sama, but the main dude from Maid Sama.
Usui, oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's good husbando. Um,
Not my favorite romance shoujo, but
oh
Horimiya.
oh god, well, Horimi is not sojo.
No, it's shonen, but it's romance, like
It is romance.
with not a very large male cast. So.
Oh, Wotakoi, the
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Hirotaka and oh god, what's the other one's name? They're both great. I love them both.
Yeah.
Um, uh, God, there's I could go on. Oh, like, we could talk about the guys in Skippy. We could talk the guy Kami-sama Kiss. We could talk about um. There's so many, and to name them all would just take forever.
Oh, for sure. Well,
My God.
we've got to mention Hal.
Yes,
Make
Howl Hawk.
oh Hawk.
Hawk from Yona.
Oh, I thought you were saying like his last name. I was like, wait, hold on.
No, Hal Pendragon, yeah.
like,
no.
Wait, talking about a different Hal.
No, Hal. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Hawk, I guess.
God.
If we're going like those kind of series, I'd go more for Fushigi Yugi, Tommy Heat.
I still have I'll have to see who that is, because now that Fushigi Yugi's on the Viz manga app, I can finally read it.
Oh my god, you're in for a fucking roller coaster.
Yeah, I just have to get through One Piece, Carnival, and Renee first.
They pile up.
Again, they're all long series too, so I'm screwed.
Yup. Let me think. What else? We are definitely missing a lot.
Oh, so many. If I went through like every single one of the manga on my shelf, I guarantee I could come up with probably a husband in all of them, at least the ones I've read. And I have like 400 series. So.
Ooh, I'm gonna name an obscure one. That you definitely don't know. It's from an anime called Heat Guy J. If anybody actually knows what that fucking is and actually watched it, like, please reach out to me, because I don't know a lot of people that have watched it. Aired on MTV2 of all things during their anime block. But the main mafia boss, Claire Leonelli, voiced by Johnny Young Bosch.
Sold.
And
as a voice actor, I'm sold on everything too. So
and this is his time. He's playing like a complete psychopath, and like his like unhinged laugh in that makes me so fucking happy. But yeah, I'm all for Claire. Like, granted, there's a lot of good husbandos in Heat Guy J, just like main character's brother Daisuke, and Shun, I believe is his brother's name. Fucking hot as hell, but Claire takes the fucking cake for me. I've only met like 2 other people that have ever watched that series or even know what it is. So, and one of those is Cyanide Blizzard, who has watched quite a bit. So
he is like the king of obscure.
Yep. Oh god, I love that series so much. Even like there's a series called Spiral that has a few good husbandos, and
I've heard of that one.
I need to probably read the manga because the anime definitely leaves off. But yeah, it had some like Eyes Weatherford in that one. Such a good character. Nice British accent in the English dub. Very, very, very English. Very posh.
Very posh.
Yeah, very
evil.
I
was just looking at one, and I was just like, oh my god, that one too. And then I forgot what it was. Oh, it's not obscure or anything, but like the male lead in Basara, I forgot what his name is. Shuri, he is goddamn.
I love like every time you bring up like you and I both have this problem. You bring up Basara, and I think of Sengoku Basara, and every time I bring up Sengoku Basara, you think I'm talking about Basara. And they're
Yeah.
two very different series.
Well, whenever I like search Basara, Sengoku Basara is always what comes up instead, and I'm like,
Yeah.
not what I'm looking for, but okay.
Did you
It's
ever
on my
watch?
to watch list, but
Did you ever watch or read Sayuki?
I have not, but I have seen it, and I think it is on my to read list or to
It's
watch list.
the God, I'm gonna forget it. I don't remember his name, but the main antagonist, the son of the main antagonist, at least the evil bastard with the red hair, the demon motherfucker. Oh my god, he's hot, and I forget who. Somebody hot voices him, or somebody with a hot voice voices him. I should say. I don't know what they actually look like. Oh my god. That series is just built around hot dudes. Like it's literally 4 hot dudes on a road trip. So.
I can't believe you haven't brought up this series, The Gray Man. There's a lot of ones in The Gray Man.
There's none I would consider like husbando or like there's I guess
Like it's in the late like when because there's like a time skippy.
yeah I haven't
I don't know if it's a
watched
time skip or just a lot of time has passed. I
a
don't
lot. I
remember.
think a lot of time has passed. I don't think it's really a time skip because
Yeah.
um I haven't
But like
watched
all
the newest season or whatever like the continuation. So I've only watched the original anime. So I don't know anything about later.
I mean, again, I'm a manga one with that one.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they look really good now.
Like I think the closest I got to like liking a character in that was the Hammer Dude.
Mhm. Yeah, he's popular. I think his name's Levy.
Yeah. But like otherwise, like a lot of people went after the
Kanda.
yeah, I wasn't feeling him.
Alan, like Alan Young is like protect, and then Alan older, it's like hello.
Fair.
I have a question for you, real quick. I know we're wrapping up. Would you consider characters in Yaoi series as husbandos?
I mean, isn't yaoi just all husbandos?
Exactly. Okay. Okay. Because I've like passed them multiple times. I'm like, do I bring these ones up? Do I bring up the characters in these series?
I mean, we brought up Given.
Yeah. Okay. So Kaiichi Hatsukoi, goddamn. All of them except like one of them.
Yeah.
Husbando, please, especially the spinoff. But
Fair.
but I love, yeah, Kaiichi Hatsukoi. Let's all of them, please, please.
Oh my god. Descendants of Darkness. I bring this up all the fucking time, but like.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I'm so mad because I'm never gonna find that final volume, and good one that was good enough that makes me. I don't know.
Yeah, it is. I've seen people with their complete collections and things.
Yeah, well, and I'm wondering if like it's a complete collection, but I don't know if the final volume ever actually got released at all. Like,
it did.
It did. It did finish. Because
it did, but I don't think it had a lot of copies.
Because hold on. I had to type on my fucking PC for this. Every time I always look to try and buy it. No. 13 never came out. 13 has 13 and 12 have no information for English release. It's English release. The last English release was volume 11 on May 2nd, 2006.
Oh well, shit.
Yeah. So there's no continuing it in official release. I was like, I know for sure I've looked this up, so
okay, no, you're good. I was pretty sure that it did get completed. Yeah, so that's fine.
It got completed in Japan. It just never got completed here, sadly. So there's like, there's a bit missing, and I'm sad. Again, I think Yuri Lowenthal's. Is it Yuri? No, Liam O'Brien's in that. I think one of them. I don't. I'd have to hear it, but it's that voice break, that hot, not quite high pitched, but the voice break voice that gets me. And God. Gravitation was also really good, full of husbandos.
Oh yeah.
Husbandos and great music. But yeah, if you don't have anything else, we can take it out.
And nothing that won't lead us into longer discussion.
Yeah, which we do that a lot anyway.
Yes.
All right. Well, where can they find you, ma'am?
Hi, you can find me at Lady Shio on Twitter, Shuri Sudamiya on YouTube, and Shurin's on Twitch.
And I am Cyan Kincaid on Twitch and Cyan Aniki on Twitter. And you can find, if you want any updates regarding our podcast, you can always check us out on Twitter as well at RiceCon Pod. Huh?
No, RiceCon Podcast.
RiceCon Podcast.
We shot ourselves in the foot with this name.
We really did. We should have checked to make sure we had enough room on Twitter before we named ourselves.
Yes.
But yeah, you can find we'll keep you updated on episodes coming out there, as well as TikTok releases and any other maybe some viewer polls, whatever. These episodes come out bi-weekly, so every other week. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Play. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment. Tell us what you thought. Say if there's anybody you think we left out. If you disagree with our opinion, tell us that too. Go for it. I'll read it. Maybe you'll respond. I don't know.
Give me a comprehensive list of every single Sojo male lead husbando that I left out in the comments, please.
Oh my
God. I'll read the entire comment. I will make a video of me reading that comment.
Oh my god. Oh, look forward to those shorts.
It will not be on this channel, probably be on my own channel.
But yeah, for sure, catch us again in 2 weeks. And for now, y'all have a wonderful rest of y'all's day.